DRG Media Group and River 92.7 are bringing you all home Oahe Zap games all season long. Tune in on the radio, listen on the app, or watch live on drgnews.com. Now, let's send it to the broadcast booth for some Oahe Zap baseball.
What a perfect day for some baseball here at Hyde Stadium. Game number 3 of this 4-game set between in-state rivals, the Oahe Zap, hosting the Spearfish Sasquatch. Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Coward, welcoming you into the broadcast booth where you're joined by Dylan Beach himself, and we are getting ready about 10 minutes away from first pitch or so. Zap won yesterday afternoon. 7-5 was the final score. They split up this series. 1 win apiece for both of these teams. And I welcome in Dylan. Dylan, really exciting game, back and forth action yesterday. And hopefully for a lot of the same here this afternoon. Zap bats got going a little bit. We saw more patience at the plate than we saw in Game 1. I think that was very beneficial to a Zap win yesterday.
Yeah, they got back towards their small ball roots yesterday, and anytime it felt like Spearfish was kind of cutting into it, the Zap were able to answer with a few runs of their own, and it was all around a pretty nice performance for the Oahe Zap to get back to 1-1 in this series.
And get back to 5-8 on the season. Sasquatch moved back to 500. They are 7-7 on the year. Field's getting ready right now. The Oahe Zap have got their camouflage blue and white jersey with the lettering and numerals in red. Well, they look good. They're just hard to pick up the numbers on those there, Dylan. But you've got a pretty familiar feel for this team and some of these guys on this roster. And we get a guy in Aiden Johnson who I haven't had the benefit of seeing start yet today. He's struggled a little bit this year, but this might be a good test for him to try to get back on the horse.
Yeah, I got to talk to him a bit before the game. We'll get to dive into that a bit later, but a lot of lefties in this Sasquatch lineup, and he says the changeup's one of his better pitches, so expect that a lot here tonight, and then see that fastball to maybe try to put away some of these guys.
Well, you bring up the Sasquatch lineup. This is a team that can hit. We saw some really, really good swings in Game 1. We saw some good swings yesterday, but some great defense from the Zap also out in the field yesterday afternoon. The Sasquatch can hit. Zap are going to have to bring their offense today.
Yeah, for sure, and they got a bit of a down night for the Sasquatch last night. They've been really rolling on offense, and then last night, holding them at 5 runs. It was a very impressive pitching performance from the staff. He called on a couple of guys like Nick Golden, who hadn't pitched yet this year. He got out scoreless. A.J. Ponciano went longer than he's ever gone this year, and it was just an all-around good pitching performance for the Zap.
That was a really nice start from A.J. Ponciano. We haven't really seen too many guys go deep into ball games. We've seen some 3-inning outings. Last night we saw A.J. get through 4. Out of Aiden, you've seen him a little bit. What would be considered a good outing for him in terms of length getting into this game today?
I would say going back to maybe the typical length for a Zap starter, maybe around that 2 to 3 innings, kind of like what we'd seen A.J. Ponciano going. He started a couple of ball games already this year, but the longest Johnson's gone so far is 2 innings. So I think a good start would be 3 or 4, but you would definitely take if you could just get into that 3rd inning.
And we're going to see some new faces and new names here at home. As we've talked about kind of at length here through a couple of our broadcasts, that catching room is very, very deep for the Oahe Zap. We're going to see a new guy behind the plate here at home, somebody I haven't seen yet. You've seen a little bit of him on the road. Noah Cadena.
Yeah, Noah Cadena, I believe his only appearance on the year, that Fremont Moose series. I think he just got back into town, went back home for a little bit, but should be exciting to see him maybe behind the plate a bit. He's definitely a lively guy, someone you want to see succeed out there, and we'll see what he brings to this loaded catcher room.
And I see that you've got the box score from yesterday pulled up, so for those that weren't able to tune in and weren't able to make it out to Hyde Stadium yesterday, we understand it was hot. It started at 93 at first pitch yesterday afternoon. Much cooler here this evening, and a nice breeze going across the field. Before we set the scene for the listeners at home, let's run through yesterday's box score. Why don't you just give us a quick synopsis of how the Zap got the win?
Yeah, last night, Spearfish got out to the lead early before Oahe Zap put 3 across in the bottom of the 1st, and then from there, it was all Zap. Spearfish tied it up, but then the Zap kind of started moving away with it, and despite being out-hit last night 9-7, the Zap win because they outwalked the other team, had 10 walks to their 7. So a good pitching performance and a good job at the plate drawing those walks to get some runners on.
Well, we talked a little bit about seeing Aiden Johnson for the first time here at home on the mound. Another guy that we've talked about a lot but haven't been able to see, going to be going for the Sasquatch today, and Tristan Augadal. And I think the folks at home they know about how tall he is. He stands at 6'8", and a guy that can bring some power. It's going to be tough to hit this guy today for the Zap.
Yeah, D1 pitcher at South Dakota State, 6'8", so a height that you're not typically seeing out of a pitcher. And he's got a 0 ERA through 4 innings so far, a .25 whip. So he's been incredible to start the year. Hasn't thrown a lot of innings, so we'll see how far he goes tonight.
It'll be interesting to see a 6'8" hurler on the mound here this afternoon. We've seen some tall guys, including some guys in their hitting lineup, including one of the better hitters that we've seen here in Peyton Fort. And he has continued his great performance at the plate. He was the last out of the night last night. They had runners on. They were threatening, but a really nice play by Naruto Saito shading him up the middle. It was a line drive that normally just wherever the shortstop normally sets up, that's a base hit, but Naruto had him played perfectly and got his team and Jackson Cornett out of a jam and got them the win.
Yeah, he looked like he was playing first on second last night. I mean, he caught it with the leg out like he was the first baseman, but it was a great play by Naruto, a tough out, and an impressive ninth inning from Jackson Cornett last night.
A couple other guys that have been hitting the ball really well. We saw Connor Goldberg put a charge into one yesterday. He'll be out in right field. We'll get you those starting lineups here momentarily when they start announcing them down on the field. But the Bats started to get going a little bit last night. In those 2 games against the Fremont Moo that they won, their first 2 home games, opening day, including the day following, you know, it was interesting. They scored 11 runs. They scored 13 runs on opening day here, but they didn't really do it from hitting. They were patient. They were getting hit by a lot of pitches, and they were getting on base with walks. Wins are wins. Runs are runs. You'll take them however you can get them. But kind of going back to that patience at the plate, I would love to see some of these bats continue to stay hot for this Zap lineup here this afternoon.
Yeah, and last night I was really impressed to see Polizzi and Lang hitting back-to-back last night. Polizzi went 2 for 3, 2 walks, 3 RBI, and then Mason Lang had 2 RBI of his own. So it was a very impressive night for your 3 and 4 hitter last night, and a lot of production out of that kind of 3-4-5 in the lineup.
And a very dangerous 3-4-5 in that lineup as well. One of the most interesting stats that I think that we have with this Zap ball club here this season has been their ability to hit home runs, but their inability to win games when they hit home runs. Are we just having to stay away from the long ball, or are we going to break that curse here tonight?
I mean, we saw them hit 1 homer in 2 games. They lost both of those. We saw them try to hit 2 home runs in a game. They lost that one. Maybe it's 3 or 4 home runs is the magic number, but we're going to have to figure that out. If we're going to hit the long ball or win, I think we're going to have to take the wins.
Well, the wind is blowing out to right field today. That flag is on the move. Winds are blowing around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Temperature here around first pitch, topping out at about 76 degrees here this afternoon in central South Dakota. It is a perfect day for some baseball, and a lot of folks still making their way out to Hyde Stadium as of right now. And, we see a lot of fans making their way in here this afternoon, enjoying those great concession stand items. Dylan, you and I got to experience the traditional pretzel, the pretzel with cinnamon and sugar on top, along with some really delicious icing. But for those that are kind of hanging around, driving around Pier this afternoon, that want to come out, spend some time here at Hyde Stadium, watch some great Zap baseball, tell the fans what they can expect when they show up here.
I mean, start off here, it's Wine Wednesdays, so pretty much all of your typical drinks, maybe your margarita, your wine spritzers, your Malibu drinks, your White Claws, $1 off tonight, and I will argue also that we have probably one of the better beer selections of any ballpark you're going to see. So you're going to have some nice refreshments, and then you can walk over to the concession stand, burgers, brats, hot dogs, your typical stuff, but then you got some fun items like the Powerhouse, which is the pulled pork burger. You got the Shock Dog, hot dog with some pulled pork and nacho cheese. I mean, just some fun items at the ballpark that you're not going to find anywhere else in Pierre.
Absolutely not, and that's one of those things that Alex Sheets, the general manager, has been kind enough to let us experience firsthand up here in the booth. We'll be bringing you some booth reviews from all of these concession stand items throughout the season and all season long. Some great things going on here at Hyde Stadium, including the Pierre Wildcats South Dakota Special Olympics bingo cards that you can buy, 1 for $3, 2 for $5, and we actually had a fan win about $98 a couple days ago playing on that bingo card, so they got that going on. We also got some really fun mid-inning games that if you're lucky enough to get selected, you can go down and play and win some prizes there. You mentioned the drink options that you have here. Don't forget the big buckets of beer that fans can get.
I mean, the beer selection, incredible. I mean, you got the Twisted Teas, you got your Busch Light, Budweisers, you got just about everything. You got some of those IPAs if that's your speed. not really my type of drink, but I don't know what's popular around here in Pierre.
Well, you'll find out soon enough. We still got plenty of time here. Let's look ahead at the schedule and just kind of give you an idea of where the Zap are going to be in the coming weeks. They'll wrap up with Spearfish tomorrow afternoon, and they will have 3 games following on the road against Spearfish after they wrap up here. And before we go deeper into their schedule, I've heard it referred to as the South Dakota World Series because this is an in-state rivalry. Is that what everybody's calling it nowadays?
I mean, it's 7 straight games. I mean, a best-of-7 South Dakota World Series. It sounds awesome to me. I mean, it's 1-1 right now. It's anyone's World Series at the moment.
Well, it is a 7-game series. It's not as, play 3 games at home, go back to the opposing team for 2 games, and then back here for 2. It's 4 here, 3 on the road. But this feels like a pretty big game for the Zap today. And if they can't get the win today, it would be really important to split this game and split this series tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start taking more and more series, build some momentum. If you're going to try to get back into this first half series race or even start looking forward to the second half to try to make the playoffs, you got to start building that momentum. And if you can get one versus your in-state rival, it tastes even sweeter.
All right, well, let's introduce you to these starting lineups today. As always, we'll start with the visiting squad, the Spearfish Sasquatch. Leading off is designated hitter Lucas Torelli, a guy that's been impressive in this series thus far. Smaller guy, but can really put some power behind the ball.
Yeah, we've seen this lineup. Not a bunch of tall guys. I mean, there are some giants with Kyle Finn and players like that, but we've seen some of their smaller guys who can really just put a charge into a baseball.
And a little bit surprising, Kyle Finn not in the starting lineup today. Probably see him at some point here this afternoon. Might be a pinch hitter for somebody. Batting second for the Squatch today is Nicholas Workin playing third base. Batting third, Ethan Mooser, the Canadian, and playing in right field. Aaron Nels batting in the cleanup spot, playing left field. Sam Kwapnoski will be playing first base, batting fifth today for the Squatch. Owen Mickelson behind the plate, batting sixth. The stellar Peyton Fort playing second base, batting in that seventh spot. And before we finish this starting lineup for the Squatch, you and I had talked a little bit with a guy hitting that well. It's a little odd to see him in that seventh spot, but Justice Scott, head manager for the Sasquatch, probably not wanting to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's probably kind of what we felt the sentiment was for keeping him in that seventh spot.
Yeah, sometimes when a guy is hitting well, you don't want to move him out of his spot, throw him off. And, I mean, baseball, a lot of it's a superstitious type of game, and it might be 7-hole is his for the rest of the year.
8-hole will be Ben Foyer playing shortstop, and coming up in the back end of this lineup will be a new guy that we haven't seen yet in this series, Karsten Hansen, playing center field. For the home team, Oahe Zap, it'll be Gavin Frazier playing shortstop today. Ty Farwell over at third base. And a bit about Ty Farwell, we saw him start at first base yesterday. He's played more behind the plate and at third, which is where he'll be today. But I thought that he played pretty well over there at first base yesterday. Showed some really good glove work.
Yeah, the times he was called upon, he looked like he had been playing there all season, and it's impressive to be able to play all 3 of those spots.
Playing first base in that spot for Ty Farwell will be Vince Polizzi, and we've seen down, and that's going to run towards the wall. Work is working his way around third and heading for home. Curiel gets it, fires it in. There's going to be no throw to the plate, and just like that, the Sasquatch, with some inadvertent fielding in left field, are on the board. It's 1-0 with Ethan Mooser, and we'll see how that scored. It was going to get down for a hit anyway, but Jackson trying to slide and stop that ball. Quick peek over to first base now. Back to Kwapnoski. Long look in, runners going, swing and a miss, throw down, and that's a little bit of a tough throw for Noah. Signal traveling through air or space. So remember, with Venture Communications Facebook, and for all your fiber needs, make sure you check out Venture Communications. Agadal weighs in at 200 pounds. So you can imagine he is reminds you of a beanstalk standing out there on the mound. This kid is incredibly tall. He's got great action on his fastball, good off-speed and breaking pitches. And a guy that just simply doesn't give up a lot of runs. Dylan, you have an idea about this Tristan Ogdahl and how good he's been here in the early going of this season. This is going to be a tough day at the plate for the Zap.
Yeah, and he's a D1 guy, and you don't see a lot of D1 pitchers. We've seen some hitters already this season, but he should be an exciting arm on the mound for the Sasquatch, and already working with some nice run support here early.
Gavin Frazier will lead things off for the Zap here this.
Really just trying to get my body ready, get ready to go, get mentally right. Sky report shows like a lot of their lefties struggle against changeups, and that's one of my better pitches, so I'm going to look to throw that a lot today. Make sure me and my catcher are on the same page with that, and get ahead with off speed and use my fastball.
6 due for the Zap this inning. Goldberg, Lang, and Jackson. It is a windy day at the ballpark as Goldberg swings for strike 2.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky these past couple home games. We haven't had much wind. I think the players would have really appreciated this breeze yesterday afternoon. It didn't pick up until the sun started to set behind us.
1-2 misses to Goldberg for ball 2. That flag out and right, blowing very hard to the right, so pop fly to that right field wall might get out as that one runs inside for ball 3.
Yeah, this is the wind that left-handed hitters love to see. Saw it on one of those Peyton Fort foul balls. That ball moved from left to right about 15 feet in the air.
Payoff pitch swung on and missed by Goldberg. Agadal gets the strikeout to start the bottom of the second, and he has been moving very efficiently through the Zap lineup.
Well, we already said it before, but he just looks comfortable, stress-free. He looks really confident in all of his pitches, as he should be.
And he has been stellar so far, retiring the first
inning. As Nicholas Work back in the batter's box. Good crowd has made their way out to Hyde Stadium as Johnson fires in a strike. The count runs 1-2. A lot of young Zap fans over down the right field baseline in that little patch of grass playing some catch. As the 1-2 from Johnson is struck hard by Work, belted down the left field line, but turning foul and bouncing into the river. A lot of Wise fans that'll be on the move a little bit behind home plate as the sun continues to set. It kind of shifts where the shade falls. Back in those prime general admission seats, to see a couple beer buckets down there as the 1-2 curls in there. A close pitch, but ball 2. And Noah Cadena making sure that Aiden Johnson knows that was a good pitch. I think that's a 50-51. I think Dylan Turner might call that a strike half the time. It was just right there on the edge. Here's the 2-2. Way high. And the count runs full.
Catcher's not going to be able to comfort him after that one.
That one's going to be tough to frame, Dylan. That one was way over the head of Nicholas Work. Cadena did a good job just getting some leather on that pitch. Here's the 3-2. Just a bit outside for ball 4.
And that's one, as a pitcher, you just don't get that call there, and it maybe changes the at-bat a little bit, and it's one that you're not going to be too angry about because you were just so close to getting that K.
Well, the thing about pitchers, too, is they kind of work through a routine. They scout hitters. They spend time figuring out what works. You heard Aiden Johnson talk about his curveball and his changeup there in the pregame interview. But when you kind of go through a at-bat, as a pickoff attempt to first is off the mark. Nice play by Palizzi to keep that one on the playing surface. As you kind of work through a hitter, you say, I'm going to start him with my fastball. Then I want to throw him another one kind of up and away, and then I'll hit him with the changeup. As this one bounces through the legs of Cadena, that's going to get into the grass behind home plate, and taking second base is Nick Work. But when you kind of go through that rhythm and you throw a pitch that you think is a strike and it ends up being a ball, it can kind of throw you off kilter a little bit. Don't want to say ruin the at-bat, but it changes your approach, as it did for Johnson there. And now heads up base running by Nick Work has himself on second. Nobody out here. 1-0 pitch coming from Johnson. Ethan Mooser swings and fouls that back into the caging behind home plate. I will say this about our two umpires, and I'm not saying this because they get dressed and hang out right in the room right behind us and kind of know where we set up. They've been incredibly consistent in this series. We saw Dylan Turner call game 1 behind home plate. We saw Richard Gilmore yesterday. 2 differing zones, but they called him the same way, and that's all you can ask for from an umpiring crew. Here's the 1-1. Just a bit outside for ball 2. A lot of the same as we saw from Dylan Turner in game 1. He's got a tight strike zone. He's going to make these pitchers earn it. But these guys are playing some high-level college baseball. They need to be earning it out there on the mound. Aiden Johnson set with the 2-1. That one catches the inside corner for strike 2. Mooser hanging his head off to the right as a little bit of a symbol of maybe in disagreement with that call from Turner. But now a big 2-2 pitch. See if Johnson can get Mooser here. Johnson with a long look in. I'm sure with a runner on second, they throw and flash down a couple different signs from catcher to pitcher. That one off-speed pitch fouled. Just catches a piece of the tip of that wooden bat. And Mooser stays alive. That's the beautiful thing about the game of baseball. It is so simple yet so complex in the chess game that goes on between hitters and pitchers and base runners and coaches, even down to the two guys having a standoff after the national anthem. As this one just misses inside, Cadena trying to frame it, but he didn't have the ball in his glove. Not that that would have made it a ball or a strike, whether he had it or not, but he's doing his best to sell it to Dylan Turner. But I just love that. I love the mind games that go on before the game, during the game. The way you've got to shield your pitches. The way you flash down 4 different signs so that runner on second base doesn't pick up what you're throwing and signal it back to the hitter. Here's the 3-2. That is strike 3 called. Mooser goes down looking. Another shake of the head. These Squatch hitters are none too pleased with Dylan Turner, but I can tell you Aiden Johnson sure is. That was a perfectly placed pitch. And if I do say so myself, a good call by our home plate umpire.
Yeah, I certainly agree, and I bet Aiden Johnson does too.
That's the first down of the inning. Nicholas Work still standing on second base. Caden Bazanski shading Aaron Nels up the middle here. This one almost catches a piece of the jersey as it flies by Nels.
Yeah, he just had his first K of the night. You don't want to have your first hit batter too here, Aiden.
He does have first base open. But with only, one out, wouldn't hurt to have force plays at every base, but you want to keep runners off the base paths here tonight, especially trailing 3-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That catches the zone.
I'll say this about Cadena. He is trying to frame every pitch.
And you know what? He's doing a good job, so much so that even pitches out of the zone, he doesn't even care if he catches it or not. He just wants to hold it right where it crossed the plate. Bazanski working to keep Work close over there at second base. Aiden Johnson with a look. Work is running. A step off. Throw to third. It is in time, and a great job by Aiden Johnson staying aware. And Nick Work runs into an out. And a nice job by Ty Farwell to be there in time. Nick Work trying to catch Aiden Johnson sleeping, but he stays composed. A lot of times you'll see an inexperienced pitcher move his shoulders while he's still on the rubber, causing a balk. But Aiden Johnson calmly took his right foot off the rubber and threw to third for the second out. Now nobody on the bases. Here's the 1-1. That's in the dirt, blocked by Cadena. Great play there by Aiden Johnson and Ty Farwell.
Just a veteran move there from Johnson. Just read him like a book. Gets the out number 2.
I don't blame the Squatch wanting to be aggressive on the base paths. They've got a 3-run cushion here. I know they can score in the blink of an eye as well. Johnson comes set. Here's the 2-1. In the dirt. Nice pick there by Cadena.
Johnson trying to fight back in here. Get out of this inning efficiently. It has been a good recovery since that first frame.
Indeed it has. Here's the 3-1. That just a bit low. Ball 4. So Aaron Nels will take his base. And now we are confirmed Sam Kwapnoski coming up to the plate here for the Squatch.
I was so close to getting the count full there for Johnson. I thought for a second he was going to get it, but just missed a bit low.
And we mentioned this in the first. It's interesting from Aiden Johnson. He always works out of the stretch. You see that from some guys, but not every guy. Agadal works on the windup. Normally you'll see a guy go from the windup with nobody on, as this one's fouled down the left field line, going to curl. Will bounce and take a ricochet into that wooden fence. But when nobody's on, often you'll see the pitcher start out of the windup. That's when he's got both feet on the rubber. And he'll step forward with the left foot if he is a right-handed pitcher. Place the right foot on the rubber as he begins his pitch. But Johnson starting from the stretch. That's when you have your back to the first baseman. There goes the runner, Nels. Throw down to second from Codina in time, but it gets through the shortstop's glove of Gavin Frazier. That was going to be a tough pick to make. I don't care who you are. Nice backup there from Curiel.
I don't even know if Nels realized that one got through in time. It was a good job selling it on the play from the Zap infield.
You want to talk about a veteran move. Gavin Frazier pulling one out, acting like he had the ball in his glove. And, you know, another thing about that play, when you try to deke a runner, you cannot touch the runner without the ball. That would be an interference call, which would automatically give him third base. So a good job by Frazier trying to sell it without touching him with his glove and giving him third base. That one up and away for ball one. Good waste pitch there from Aiden Johnson, trying to see if Kwapnoski would chase. He didn't. Very committed batter, very wise batter in Kwapnoski.
I see off speed here.
2 outs, runner on second. The 1-2 pitch from Johnson. Drilled up the middle, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Nels being waved around third. He's going to come home to score, and Kwapnoski has made it 4-0 for the Sasquatch.
Just missed a little bit there on that off-speed offering and just left it a bit over the plate, and nice piece of hitting there from Kwapnoski.
And that's just knowledge of what the pitcher is going to do. You see it. You may be a little bit surprised by it through the first time through the the lineup, but if they start keying on what a pitcher's doing, and they can start to really shell them. 3 runs in the first, given up by Johnson. 1 here in the third. 5 hits, 4 runs for the for the Sasquatch. No runs, no hits thus far, and 1 error for the Zap. Throw over to first base, not in time. Back standing is Kwapnoski. We'll see if Kwapnoski wants to get going here with 2 outs. Not running here. Pitch misses up and in for ball 1. And Dylan, I know you've only been here a couple weeks, but just know that those days where we get about a 3 to 4 mile an hour wind as a breaking ball falls in for strike 1, those are not normal here in South Dakota. What we've got here today, that's considered very light, very mild wind. About a 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze is customary, so I hope you didn't get used to those non-breezy days we had the past week.
I have to say, the one we had on Sunday was, I mean, what's that on the scale? I mean, that felt very, very windy on Sunday.
Sunday we had about 35 mile an hour winds. I'd say about 30 with gusts up around 40. Made for a very miserable day on the golf course as the 1-1 just misses high on the breaking ball. You know, it's really hard not to have a good time out at the golf course, but when you really don't know where the ball's going because of the wind, kind of makes you wish you were up in this air-conditioned broadcast booth. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Well,
good pitch to Owen Mickelson.
Well, when I play golf, I don't know where the ball's going regardless of the wind, Justin.
I figured that I might have set you up for that one.
It's too easy sometimes. I mean,
and they're just lobbing them up and knocking them out of the park.
I'm lucky if they get off the ground a lot of the time. I got to spend a lot of time at the range to get back to myself.
Aiden Johnson trying to get back to the Zap dugout. Here's the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. In the dirt, nice stop by Cadena underneath him. Kwapnoski thought about trying to take second base, didn't want to run into that third and final out, stays put. Now the count runs full. Pretty interesting. You can see at least 3 American flags, maybe 4. I'm counting 4 here from our broadcast booth. Helps when the wind is up like this. Here's the payoff pitch. Checked his swing, went down to a knee and didn't go. Nice job there from Owen Mickelson. Turning on the swing, but also staying out of the way of the pitch as to not let that ball travel, that bat travel as the ball traveled across the plate. And that'll bring up the red-hot bat of Peyton Ford.
I've got 5 waving flags now. We got the one over there off Capitol Street.
I figured with the state capitol, I see it now, with the state capitol being right in our backyard, we'd probably see one posted up there. Peyton Ford has put his name in the running for ILB Player of the Year. The only blemishes we've seen as he takes ball one outside were a couple mishandles in the first couple innings of the first game of this series. Since then, he has been rock solid both in the field and at the plate. And this is nothing against Northern Iowa Area Community College as he takes ball 2 down low. Nothing disparaging about NIACC. I have a feeling that Peyton Ford is drawing the attention of some college scouts and some bigger schools around the country with his performance here in this league this summer.
You're batting 400, you're going to be getting some of those phone calls.
Absolutely. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Ford. Swung on and missed for strike 1.
And that's kind of what you see with a lot of these guys, maybe looking for new homes in the fall, maybe play their way onto a different team, or maybe play their way up on their current team.
Well, I think it's a lot of different reasons why guys will join this league over the summer. Here's the 2-1 to Ford. That falls in for strike 2. I think a main focus of why these guys come to play in this league from all around the country is, 1, it's competitive baseball. 2, it's about maintenance. It's very easy to just sit on your couch over the summer, hang out with your buddies, go to the lake, but that doesn't help your baseball game one bit. It actually hurts it. There's the 2-2. This one's driven deep to center field. Curiel turning, pinwheeling, goes down to a knee, and makes the catch. So Peyton Ford puts a charge into one, but it falls right into the glove of Emiliano Curiel. Not before the Squatch put one on the board in the top of the third. It's 4-0. Spearfish leads. We'll be back with the bottom of the third inning after this short break on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Things in life you can't control. Your in-laws just bought a new house right next door. Construction is behind schedule, so you have to detour to work again. That car next to you just lost control and swerved into your lane. Things in life you can control. Wearing your seatbelt. In South Dakota, over 55% of those who die in a car crash aren't buckled up. Control what you can. Always wear your seatbelt.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Get ready, Central South Dakota. Oahe Days in Pierre is back, June 20th and 21st at Steamboat Park.
It's the annual music and arts festival you don't want to miss. Live music, amazing food, local vendors, carnival rides, a beer garden, and so much more.
Friday night, it's 90s party band, the Mallrats.
And Saturday, country fans, Struggle Jennings takes the stage.
The 3 bands each night start at 5 p.m.
Grab the full lineup and details now at oahedays.com.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Back here for the bottom of the third, Sasquatch leading 4-0 on a perfect day at Hyde Stadium. Tristan Agadal back to work and back to what he's best at, firing that fastball in, swinging strike 1 for Caden Bazanski. Agadal's been perfect here through these first 2 innings. Looking to keep that going. That one misses down low.
And I wouldn't mention if he was a Zap player, but I'll mention the perfect game as many times as possible to try to break it up.
It's not bad luck and doesn't go against the rule of thumb when the opposing broadcast does it. Caden Bazanski with kind of a guessing swing there. Misses that. Count runs 1 and 2. Not saying that I want him to continue this perfect game thus far. I mean, we're only through 2 innings as this one's grounded sharply to shortstop. Nice pick there by Foyer, but the throw is in time, and Bazanski is thrown out first down of the inning. But I'm interested to see what Justice Scott does with a guy who has an outing going like Agadal if he continues his great work and doesn't allow anybody to get on base, no errors and no hits. He threw 3 innings against the Fremont Moo. He only gave up 1 hit. I have to imagine that was probably in the later half of his outing, as this pitch just missing outside to Noah Cadena. But if you're a coach in this league in the ILB and you got a guy who's having a perfect outing, this one misses high. One, got a lot of baseball left to be played this season. 2, this is not his main focus. Obviously, college ball is. This one's grounded to third. Nice play over there by Nicholas Work. Fires across the diamond and gets Cadena out by a step. Great glove work over there on the hot corner by Nicholas Work, and that's the second out of the inning. But back to my thought, Dylan. Do you listen to your player? Do you ask him how long he wants to keep going? Or do you say, nope, you're done. We're not going to exhaust that arm, even though you've had a clean stat sheet thus far. I'd be interested to know what the coach's thoughts and feelings on that are.
I mean, much like myself out in Vegas, you got to let it ride.
Here's the first pitch to Emiliano Curiel. That's a swing and a miss. That's much like my gambling experience. Swings and misses. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back into the netting quickly, 0-2.
I'd have to say that was about like mine too, Justin.
Well, you know, I haven't made my way into any of the many casinos around South Dakota. They try to get you in. There's one at every car wash, every detail center, even at the laundromats. Yeah. Here's the 0-2. And that is strike 3 looking. Another 1-2-3 from Tristan Agadol. And we didn't even have time to catch our breath. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Squatch leading 4-0 at the end of 3.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre's Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
We got a little tug of war going down. A very evenly matched competition, unlike we saw yesterday, Dylan. I love watching those because not only is it the kids that get involved, the players look like they're having more fun than the kids sometimes with that tug of war that they do in between innings.
And last night, all we had was players in it, so I'm glad we actually got some kids back out there for the tug of war. Made it a bit more entertaining. Bryce Van de Wastein dropping down his tug of war record for the year. He won yesterday, lost today. I don't remember the result of the one in the Fremont Moose series, but a new pitcher on the mound for the Zap, Wyatt Gladue, out of Fullerton College.
I wonder if Van de Wastein keeps more attention to his tug of war record or his record on the mound. He's probably got records of both.
He's probably got them all on his phone. It's probably like the last thing he looks at before he goes to bed. As that one, in for strike 1, Van de Wastein was one of my roommates out in Casper.
Got a special guest coming into the booth right here, Miss Michelle Maupin-Barrett, one of the very proud members of the Pierre Wildcats. 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. I'm going to ask Michelle real quick what our numbers are up to for the bingo cards for the Pierre Wildcats here today. Michelle?
Gladue misses for ball 1 there. Getting the info. Getting the info on the bingo cards right now. The 1 and 2 now from Gladue.
Somebody's walking away with some money tonight with that Pure Wildcat bingo card. That's what Michelle had informed us of. I think the pot's up to almost $70 now for the winner.
2-2 now from Gladue. Trying to get his first K of the night on Nels. That's not Nels, that's Foyer at the plate. A game changer hadn't updated back. He fouls that one off. Keeps it at 2 and 2. I was actually the lucky guy who was coming up with those bingo squares.
Nicely done. There's some good options on there. Still haven't seen an intentional walk yet. That's going to be a tough square to get.
Yeah.
I definitely don't envy the person that has that as their last square to get.
And we had kind of designed it where there were going to be some with more difficulty than others. Kind of sprinkle in one of those hard ones on your board, give you some of the freebies since it is a 50-50, so there's going to be a winner. As Gladue trying to get his first K here. The 2-2 swung on, belted back the other way to Jackson. Underneath it, a nice sliding play to record out number 1 of the inning.
That's a tough play to make and a nice one by Alex Jackson. You could tell how hard it was to read that ball off the bat of Ben Foyer right back into the sun. You could see it gleaming off of those blue sunglasses on the face of Alex Jackson. Nice play out there, sliding down to a knee, getting the first down of the inning.
That catch will do numbers on his TikTok and Instagram page. Kind of a bit of an influencer, Alex Jackson. Has had some day-in-the-life content on the Zap page. He's got a nice little following on Instagram. We'll give him a nice little plug there as that one misses for ball 1.
That was a close pitch there. Good spot there from Wyatt Gladue. Keep hammering that. I'm sure you'll get the call at some point.
The 1-0 checked. Doesn't even need it in there for strike 1. Gladue maybe a bit unlucky to not be sitting at 2 strikes, but the 1-1 now to Karsten Hansen. The 9-hole hitter, 1-1 fouled off there for strike 2. Heading right towards a car driving on Capitol Street. It's a dangerous, dangerous place to be during these ball games.
We don't condone speeding, but if there's one place you got to speed up a little bit, it's right by Hyde Stadium when there's a Zap game going on. A lot of foul balls. That's the danger zone.
1-2, swung on and missed. Gladue gets the K. Hansen goes down swinging and will turn the lineup over to Torelli.
You know, we were talking about those kids out there having fun playing tug of war. The next Bolt Buddies night is coming up next Friday evening against the Casper Spuds. That's June 20th. That'll be a 6:05 first pitch. What time should they get here for the Bolt Buddies?
Bolt Buddies is in the morning. I believe it's at 11 because Bolt Buddies is the camp. We invite the kids back. We've been giving them slushies as camp ends, so if your son or daughter is not yet signed up for Bolt Buddies, there's still time to get in on some of those last few camps this summer as that one misses for ball 1.
Is that something broadcasters can join for the slushies as well? That sounds like a lot of fun.
And we've been giving the kids some slushies, maybe sending them home with more energy than what they came to camp with, as that one swung on foul for strike 1. But it's always fun. They get to learn the basics of this beautiful game from some Zap players, and the Zap players are always excited to get out here and teach what they know to the next generation, as the 1-1 from Gladue in there for strike 2.
Now, we just saw Michelle Maupin Barrett. We see a lot of Pure Wildcats here in attendance today. Some of our best recurring fans come from the Wildcats.
That they do, Justin. The 1-2 from Gladue. Swung on, driven to Bazanski, fields it, throws it over to Palizzi at first, gets out of the inning. To the bottom of the 4th we go. 1-2-3 for Gladue. We'll be right back here at Hyde Stadium.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate, all located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, DRGnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us, too. By using the Contact Us feature on the DRGnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, the 1-2-3 due for the Zap. Gavin Frazier at the plate versus the tall lefty Agadal. As that one's pumped in there for ball one. Just missed a bit outside to Frazier. Frazier back in the lineup, got the day off last night in the win. As Agadal, the 1-0, turns 1-1 down the middle off speed for strike one.
That was a fun game yesterday. A lot of back and forth, a lot of action. Even caught myself biting my fingernails a couple different times.
As Frazier fouls that one back our way. It's always more fun when the Zap win, and that's what we saw last night. It was a good competitive ball game, and it was just a overall nice day outside of it being just so hot outside for some baseball. As Frazier goes down looking there.
He knew it too. He was out of the box before Dylan Turner even rung him up.
Kind of an uncharacteristic at-bat there. I mean, Agadal maybe a bit harder of a guy to foul off some of these pitches and extend your at-bats, but Gavin Frazier typically really good at fighting off those strikeouts, but Agadal right now just mowing down this Zap lineup. As the lefty-lefty matchup here to Farwell in there for strike one. And it has just been all Agadal so far in this one. As the 0-1 now. Swung on a miss there for Farwell.
Think about Agadal. He doesn't have any messing around on the mound. He doesn't go behind and dust off his cleats. He doesn't go and rub the ball up with both hands. He gets it back and he's ready to fire. He's just a no-nonsense pitcher. Really fun to watch.
The 0-2 from Agadal. Swung on a miss from Farwell. Another K for Agadal. That just his 43rd pitch of the ball game. Already through 4 2/3 innings. And we were talking about the debate between player and coach on if they're going to keep you in or not. As correction, Vince Polizzi to the plate. See if he can get the Zap on the board. As that one runs inside for ball one.
Yeah, we were talking about that. What's the cutoff point for a pitcher in this situation? I have to imagine it's pitch count.
As 2 balls there from Agadal. So 45 pitches, 32 of them strikes.
That's about as efficient as you can get.
Working extremely efficient. So he's behind to Polizzi. That one in there for strike one. As this Zap unable to get on the board for a hit through 3 2/3. As Polizzi tries to fight back here, fouls that one off for strike two.
And you just got to take it one pitch at a time if you're the Zap. Don't try to do too much with it. He throws so hard, if you get some lumber on it, it's bound to find a gap somewhere.
The 1-2 runs inside. Polizzi jumped all the way out of the way of that one, but goes down on the strikeout. Agadal just mowing down this Zap lineup. Will be right back here for the top of the 5th.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate. All located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us, too. By using the Contact Us feature on the drgnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Top of the fifth, this game flying by. 4-0 Sasquatch out in front. A little shade creeping across Hyde Stadium here. Wyatt Gladue back to work for the Zap. Fires in a first pitch strike. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Some birds flying across center field. Getting a free ticket here to today's game. Only one other game going on tonight. The Sodbusters taking on the Casper Spuds as Gladue catches the outside corner for strike 2. That game will get underway here in about 15 minutes or so. Take you through some of the MLB scores. Had some early games today. Twins are in action tonight. As strike 3 is not called. I'll tell you what, Noah Cadena was about to fire that down to Ty Farwell at third base. He was waiting for Dylan Turner to call strike 3. He never did. Count runs 1 and 2. That one missing outside.
I think the Zap dugout was waiting for it to be called strike 3 too. You heard the...
You could hear some audible groans from the Zap first base dugout there, that's for sure.
So we somehow have a wild...
Not sure where that one came from.
Yeah, I don't know how that one made it out there.
We had a ball loose, made its way all the way to Alex Jackson in left field. We're still trying to figure out where that came from. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one skied high towards Jackson. He's going to get a live ball this time, and he's going to camp underneath it and make the first out.
He didn't have to slide for that one.
No, so Nicholas Work, first out of the inning there. I see some Sasquatch players over there behind their dugout where there's another large grass field area, but they're not throwing a baseball. They're firing around a pigskin.
These guys must not be planning on playing tonight. I mean, they're just having some fun and games over there in the...
Well, we saw, I believe, Tyler Russ yesterday wearing some cargo shorts in the dugout as Gladue fires strike 1. Ethan Mooser not agreeing with many of Dylan Turner's calls tonight. Tyler Russ did end up checking into last night's ball game. Had to throw the baseball pants on pretty quickly. This one misses down and away for ball 1.
That was Nelson, the DH, coming in last night.
That's right.
Because if we see the Air Force cadet in some cargo shorts, I feel like that would be out of character. I'd want to say. I don't know if.
As that one swung on, fouled back into the midding and popping out of Cadena's glove for strike 2. Yeah, we don't want to get Tyler Russ in any trouble, that's for sure. He's a cadet at the U.S. Air Force Academy. Another good pitcher for this Sasquatch ball club. Gladue comes set for the 0-2. That one's fouled. Way to stay alive down there by Ethan Mooser.
Russ really had that unique windup yesterday, too. I mean, we see all those different things in this league, and, I mean, his certainly towards the top of the list of unique kind of windups and pitching styles.
Well, I have to imagine some of it involves superstition. As Gladue brings the 0-2, that's chopped up the middle. Gavin Frazier moves to his left a couple steps, fires across the diamond, and gets Mooser by a step. And now that one's going to make its way back to Alex Jackson. He doesn't know it yet. That got by the infield. Polizzi, not sure if he was trying to throw that to Bazanski or Frazier. Neither one of them were looking. But either way, it stands as the second out. Yeah, you never really see the same windup or same rhythm from one similar pitcher. This will give way to Aaron Nels. He bats with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Sasquatch out in front 4-0. Gladue just trying to keep it close. This one's fouled back. Oh, right on top of the broadcast booth. Almost hit the window, and a fan down there almost making an outstanding play.
Scared that one was coming right at me.
Not sure how sustainable to foul balls these windows are. We don't really want to find out. Just puts his hands out, whacks it towards right field. Connor Goldberg giving chase underneath it, dealing with the wind, makes the catch and retires the side. So Gladue goes 1-2-3. We'll see if Agadal comes back out. I see a 6'8" man making his way from the bullpen. We're going to see some more of Tristan Agadal when we head to the bottom of the 5th after this short break on River 92.7.
And you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
An impassioned speech from Jamie Habiger, the Zap head coach, got the whole team together down in front of that dugout. And I got to imagine that he is letting them know that this is not acceptable. Zap haven't recorded a hit, haven't recorded a walk. They really haven't put anything in play against Tristan Agadal, who's been perfect through 4 innings. He heads into the bottom of the 5th inning. Quickly taking a look around the MLB for you. As we mentioned, only one other game going on tonight in the ILB between the Spuds and the Sodbusters. Orioles currently leading the first place in the AL Central Detroit Tigers 3-1. Now that makes some Twins fans happy. Those ugly Mets are beating the Nationals 4-0. The Rays and Red Sox are tied at 3-5. Yankees shutting out the Royals 5-0. Texas Rangers leading the Twins again. Twins trying to get on the back on the right side of things after getting beat 16-4 last night. And the Astros lead the White Sox 3-0. I don't know if that shocks anybody. Agadal gets back to work here in the bottom of the 5th and misses high and away for ball 1.
And he has just been a treat to watch. I think he'd be a lot more enjoyable for Sasquatch fans to be watching him, but I mean, you got to respect a great pitcher like him.
Absolutely. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one catches a piece of the zone for strike 1. Yeah, we are the Zap broadcast crew, but we obviously enjoy getting to meet other broadcast crews, other teams. Everybody here has just been so kind, so nice, as Agadal brings the 1-1, fouled back into the netting. There for Connor Goldberg. And yeah, you just have to tip your cap when a guy is throwing like this. Agadal bringing the 1-2 pitch. That one swung on as it's in the dirt, picked up and thrown to first by Mickelson in time, and he registers another strikeout. So Agadal continuing to dominate. And that'll bring up Mason Lang, the designated hitter for the Zap.
His 9th K of the ball game.
Unbelievable. He has been outstanding. Agadal quickly fires, and that one catches the inside corner for strike 1. Mason Lang still resting the bat on that left shoulder.
Another heater for his college teammate.
Not many smiles between these two this time around. Big swing and a miss on the off speed. That drew a little wry grin from Agadal. Quickly 0-2.
You don't want to be the 10th K if you're Lang here.
Agadal brings it, and that one way up in the zone, and somehow Mason Lang got his bat around to that ball. That's the toughest pitch to catch up to. Not only a fastball with the pace that Agadal brings it, but up in the zone. Count still 0-2. Agadal quickly 0-3. Gets Lang swinging. And there's strikeout number 10 for Tristan Agadal.
Just a crazy pitching performance so far for him.
So we'll see if Alex Jackson can get on base here for the Zap.
He's got a .25 whip on the year already, and it's going to be moving down somehow right now.
Quick first pitch fired in there for strike one. I guess Tristan Agadal is much like you. He's really wanting to watch this NBA Finals Game 3. As that tips off here, and that caught a piece of Dylan Turner, and he is keeled over. My goodness, not sure where it caught him, but it definitely did a little bit of damage.
I don't envy him at all with how hard he's been throwing these.
And that might be it. Looks like it caught him in the left leg. That's what he's laboring right now. Jamie Habiger going to go have a chat with Alex Jackson. And maybe this is the only thing that Tristan Agadal could slow him down. He works with such quick pace and such rhythm. The count is 1-1. There's 2 outs. Dylan Turner has got the mask back on. He points ahead to Agadal. I'm sure he's still feeling a little bit of sting. And a swing and a foul tip.
I will say about Agadal maybe wanting to get through this finals game, there is a Hoosier on their roster. Aaron Nels might have been like, if you get us out of here early, I mean, first round's on me when we get back to Spearfish.
He might have talked to Justice Scott. Here's the 1-2. That's way outside for ball 2. Yeah, Nels might have talked to Justice Scott. Agadal was probably penciled in for tomorrow, but he said, hey, maybe throw him out there today. We'll get through this thing quickly, and we can get back for this game. Dylan Beach, big Pacers fan. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's ripped up the middle, and that's going to be the first Zap base runner of the ball game. Alex Jackson sends one softly the other way. It drops in on the outfield grass, and who knows? Maybe that little hiccup there by Dylan Turner getting hit by that fastball, maybe that's all the Zap needed. Also, maybe got to give a little credit to Jamie Habiger trying to fire up that Zap dugout. Agadal working out of the stretch for the first time today. Fires a quick strike in there for strike one to Caden Bazanski. Couple peaks over by Agadal. That one misses low. And Agadal's got to be maybe feeling a little bit out of his comfort zone now because he's got a runner on base. Doesn't seem very used to this. That one falls in there for strike two.
He's got such a low ERA and walks and hits per inning. He probably hasn't had a lot of runners on base this year.
I can't imagine that he has. Agadal trying to get out of the inning. And that one catches the outside corner, and Bazanski goes down looking. Well, the Zap register their first hit. They get their first base runner, but they can't do anything with it. We head to the top of the 6th inning, still 4-0 Sasquatch.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre's Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-6666 773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, we just saw the money bucket toss, and quickly turn it over to my partner Justin for an update on that Twins game.
Well, I know we got a lot of Twins fans listening, and, well, Byron Buxton doing Byron Buxton things. Twins are now in front 3-2 after trailing 2-0. But I think it was the way that they got it that was most impressive. A 479-foot home run from Byron Buxton.
He's just a freak of nature.
479 feet. I mean, that would probably be on the roof of the Boys and Girls Club here at Hyde Stadium.
To be as fast as he is and be able to hit a ball like he can is just impressive. As Gladue misses outside for ball one, I'm not a Twins fan, but I definitely can agree that baseball is better when Byron Buxton is healthy.
Absolutely. It's always fun when the Twins are playing well, especially here in South Dakota.
As that one misses outside for ball two.
We don't really have a professional sports team here. A lot of SDSU fans, a lot of USD fans, some Northern State fans, a lot of Augies. But we've kind of adopted the Minnesota fan bases as our own.
The 2-0 fouled off there for strike one for Gladue. And going back to that last inning, just the second runner to reach on Agadal this season.
Unbelievable.
Just crazy. And I know he's only pitched 4 innings coming into tonight, but still just one other batter reaching so far as that one's fouled off for strike two.
But does that surprise you one bit, the way that Agadal is hurled today?
He has been pitching like he could be playing for the Twins right now. As Gladue got the count back to 2 apiece. As I feel like a lot of those Minnesota sports teams have kind of been adopted. My host family's got all sorts of Vikings and what's the NHL team in Minnesota?
The Wild.
The Wild. Yeah, I got some of their gear too. As Gladue gets the K, Konopnoski goes down swinging. And Gladue off to another hot start to this inning, has been pitching very impressively here this afternoon. Has been impressive all season so far.
Well, I think it's really important for Wyatt Gladue right here. Get Tristan Agadal off the mound. No telling how long he's going to go. We might have seen the end of the line there for him after that last half inning. But if you can keep this game close, get somebody else on the bump, you might have an opportunity to start piecing together some runs.
Swing and a miss there from Mickelson for strike one. Gladue. Pair of Fullerton guys from California coming out here to middle of South Dakota to play their summer ball. Him and Josh Porter, teammates at Fullerton. As that one in there for strike two. I saw a couple of guys out in Casper that they play college ball, the Billingsley brothers, last series. As, California guys making their way out to the Great Plains as the 0-2 from Gladue. Skied up, Bazanski in pursuit, getting waved off there by Goldberg. He's under it and makes the play to retire the second batter of the inning for the Zap.
You know, as impressive as Agadal has been, we just mentioned it, Gladue having a nice outing, just trying to keep things at bay here for the Zap offense.
2 2/3 for Gladue. 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. Agadal, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 11 Ks, just 64 pitches thrown. So maybe that
won't be the end of his outing here today.
As Gladue misses there for ball one. And Gladue has been impressive, and it's been a great outing, but still comfortably probably the second best pitcher in this ball game. And that's not even taking anything from Gladue, but when a guy has 11 strikeouts through 5 innings, you kind of got to tip your cap to him. That one misses for ball two.
And it's good to see Peyton Ford in the batter's box with nobody on bases.
Yeah, certainly don't want to give him some RBI shots with him batting just shy of 400 as he clobbers that one foul down the right field line.
Just kind of showing off that power going down to get that one, still putting a charge into it.
Was just a bit early, couldn't keep it fair. The wind is blowing towards that right field foul line, but that was a just liner, so doubt that wind was having much impact there as Gladue sets and fires. That one keeps it fair. He's going to line out to Goldberg and right. Gladue goes 1-2-3 again. We'll be back when the Zap try to get back to Tristan Agadal.
Thinking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at United.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive. Not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, Agadal on the mound.
Again.
Coming back out, we mentioned his pitch count.
And no reason to pull him when he's in the 60s.
64 pitches, still hasn't eclipsed what Aiden Johnson made it to in this ballgame at 67. Gladue with 39 pitches thrown so far, as he's put together a really nice outing. That was probably the last we'll see out of Gladue as a reliever here tonight. Has gone 3 innings, but has kept this game right within striking distance if you can somehow get to Agadal and then maybe get another pitcher on the bump.
Well, we saw Alex Jackson get to him a little bit with a nice base hit, and here's another nice base hit out of Noah Cadena.
Noah Cadena, the bottom of the lineup here, starting to get to Agadal. Jackson and Cadena, the 2 hits for the Zap, but that is a promising sign out of Noah Cadena trying to claw out some playing time in this loaded catcher's room. You have a guy like Garen Gledhill who's kind of dealing with a bit of an injury right now, so getting the chance to play here today is Curiel late on the fastball for strike 1.
We've talked about it a lot. Mason Lang and Ty Farwell have really made it hard for other guys to kind of break through. So Noah Cadena showing some moxie here against a great pitcher like Agadal.
0-1 to Curiel, swung on and missed again for strike 2, and it's a 3-catcher lineup today for the Oahe Zap, playing one of them at third base, one of them at DH, and that's something you don't see very often.
No, it's not.
I know the Cardinals DH Ivan Herrera a lot, and that's 2 catchers, and that's something you really don't like to see a lot because catchers aren't typically known for their offensive prowess. It's typically what they can do behind the plate, but they got a lot of guys who can really hit in that catcher's room.
Well, you see the game changing quite a bit, too. And as you start to try to beef up your lineup, get better hitters at the plate, catchers are having to step into that role.
The 1-2 to Curiel in there off speed, misses for ball 2. It's back-to-back balls there for Agadal.
The traditional catcher kind of moving away from that power guy that normally hits in the 4-hole and is now kind of becoming more of a utility hitter.
2-2 now to Curiel. Fouled off the other way.
Just getting to that fastball.
Just trying to catch up, stay alive. Couldn't quite square it up and put it into play, but good effort there from Curiel to foul that one off. Curiel trying to turn this lineup over with no outs to Gavin Frazier as he swings on and misses that one. He's a bit angry with himself, smacks the bat as he walks off to the dugout. Was just a bit behind that one.
I'm curious, did a broken bat make its way into the bingo card for the Pierre Wildcats?
I'm going to have to check. I think I did.
That's another kind of odd one that we won't probably see too much of this year.
Saw one of them out in Casper as Frazier swung on and missed that one. We even saw one break in the Casper batting cages one day. Trey Runge Devin Skelton was throwing batting practice, was throwing some heaters, got caught up and chipped his bat in batting practice as Frazier puts one back the other way, gets down in front of the left fielder, will go station to station there. 1 away, 2 on, and this is the most we've seen Agudal get to all season.
Well, we talked about with Aiden Johnson, maybe the Sasquatch kind of getting through the lineup one time around and starting to pick up on that changeup and feel his fastball out. Maybe we're starting to see the Zap catch up to that deadly Agudal fastball. Really nice piece of hitting there by Gavin Frazier.
1 away, Farwell to the plate, belts one through the gap. That one going to score 1. It's going to be putting the stop sign on.
Well, it didn't score him. Noah Cadena thought about heading for third. He had to fall down hitting the brakes. Jamie Habiger not wanting to waste an out with bases loaded. Vince Polizzi coming up with a chance to tie the game here.
I got a bit ahead of myself. Cadena was trying to come around and score. Habiger was sending him and then put the late stop on him, and it took everything out of Cadena to stop there. Fell down, was blazing around the base passes. We'll see the coaching staff come out here for a mound visit with Agudal, and I mean, he had only had one guy on the entire rest of the season in his 4 innings pitched, and Zap doing a nice job getting to him. Farwell saw one he could handle on the first offering and just sent it back, pulled it, and was a nice piece of hitting there from Ty Farwell to load the bases.
And now we look down in the Squatch bullpen. They've got somebody up and throwing, but he still looks early in his warm-up routine, so we're going to continue to see Agudal here. And now you want to talk about power versus power. Vince Polizzi and Tristan Agudal, get your popcorn ready.
A must-see matchup here. The power at the plate. Vince Polizzi, we saw him just belt one over that center field wall in Game 1. And Agudal has been oh so good, but showing some faults here. As with 1 away, the bases loaded for Polizzi. Yo-oh. Misses for ball 1. I expect Polizzi to be very patient here, maybe try to draw that walk on Agudal. Haven't seen one of those out of him all year, but a guy like Polizzi at the plate, you might try to pitch around him a few, and if you miss one of your later pitches, might give up the free pass and walk in a run. The 1-0. Misses low for ball 2.
And I don't think it's in Agudal's DNA to really pitch around anybody. I think anybody he sees at the plate he wants to go after, but quickly behind 2-0 here to a great hitter in Vince Polizzi.
Polizzi going to have to be ready for the fastball here from Agudal. The 2-0. Catches for strike 1.
I think that's a good take there by Polizzi on the outside corner. Not where he likes the ball. He likes the ball a little bit more up in the zone over the plate. That's his sweet spot, and he's got a good count to work with.
2-1 to Polizzi. Swung on and belted back the other way. Getting down. That'll score at least 1. Polizzi coming up again. Frazier in to score. The Zap put 2 across on Agudal, and who else but Vince Polizzi.
What a nice piece of hitting there. That one was sent towards right field. He let that fastball travel and just put the bat out, drove it the other way. And that's how you're going to have to hit a guy like Agudal. And now this is a perfect setup here for the Zap. Runners on first and third, only 1 out. And this goes back to Wyatt Gladue, keeping this game within striking distance. It could have very easily been a 6 or 7 run lead for the Sasquatch. And now Owen Mickelson out trying to calm Agudal down and give that bullpen a little bit more time, but here comes Justice Scott. He's going to make the move.
Yeah, Agudal kind of made for the sign to the skipper, and he comes out. Their whole team coming out to greet him as he comes off the mound, and credit to this Zap team. You couldn't get to him for the first 5 innings of this ball game, and then you just really lay it on him here, and you're evened up on hits now after Agudal was carrying that no-no bid for so long. We'll see the new pitcher, inherent runners on the corners, and a dangerous guy at the plate in Connor Goldberg.
Well, that was a really nice job of hitting from all of the Zap offense here, and it kind of goes back to Alex Jackson putting that crack in the dam for the Zap, getting that first hit, shaking off, ruining the perfect game. And I think after Alex Jackson did that, the Zap offense felt like they could breathe a little bit easier and swing a little bit freer at the plate.
New pitcher in will be Jack Riley for the Spearfish Sasquatch, as his first warm-up pitch goes a bit wild outside. We'll see what he can bring. 6'1", 190 right-hander out of St. Thomas University, the freshman coming to play his college summer ball for the Sasquatch.
And I'm not sure what his normal warm-up routine is, but he had to have kind of an expedited one down there. That first mound visit came when he was still just kind of playing toss down there in that bullpen. He wasn't throwing any pitches. He was just kind of getting the shoulder loose, getting the elbow freshened up. And then next thing he knows, he's getting the signal from Justice Scott to come into the ball game.
Yeah, he was throwing much more like an outfielder, kind of playing catch at the start, and he's going to be called on. He's going to have to be big here fast, because we've seen this Zap lineup have some big innings when you issue free passes, and with one away and a double play on, I'm sure Goldberg will be patient here at the plate. It's a 3-pitch mix for Jack Riley, a sinker, slider, and a changeup. Tops out on that sinker around 86, 88, so kind of what we've been seeing out of a lot of this Spearfish kind of pitching staff and kind of across the league. And I would have to imagine Agadal was topping out somewhere in the 90s here tonight. As Jack Riley, he got hurt his senior year of high school, tore his labrum, redshirted his freshman year at St. Thomas, as Vince Polizzi just about went back in time, just narrowly avoiding the tag.
That would have been devastation right there for the Zap. We saw Naruto Saito get picked off on the very same play earlier in this series. This is the last time when you've got a rally going and the confidence through the roof to get thrown out at first base.
That was ball one to Goldberg. The 1-0 runs inside and catches him just about even at the waistline. Goldberg was quick to throw that one away and get to first. He might be feeling that one in the morning.
Well, I don't think Connor Goldberg was too happy about getting plunked there by Jack Riley, but there's no way that had any intention behind it for Riley. The last thing he wanted to do was load the bases. I think it was more about the quick, just sharp pain of wearing a fastball on the left hip there for Goldberg.
And we saw him get hurt a bit last night. We saw him stretching out at first base, and he was healthy enough to give it a go here today, but that'll certainly be something to watch. But a dangerous hitter now to deal with for Riley. Mason Lang had 2 RBIs last night, cracked one down that right field line yesterday, was just flirting with the white chalk all the way. The 0-0 swung on in the dirt for strike one to Lang. Bit back on Riley. We're talking, he's just now getting back to healthy. This is probably one of his first few outings since kind of recovering from injury. He's only pitched twice before tonight, as the 0-1 to Lang swung on and missed for strike two. Now
not two of Lang's best swings there on these first 2 pitches, both way down in the dirt, nowhere near the strike zone. I think Lang came up seeing bases loaded, only 1 out, and his eyes were wide. He was wanting to jump on Riley early.
0-2 to Lang. That one skips in. Lang holding off on that one for ball one. Gonna have to take a bit of a different approach here. Maybe see your pitches, maybe choke up a bit, try to foul off some, put something into play. A ball in play would certainly score far well. As that one swung on and missed for Lang. Not the at-bat he was certainly wanting there, as Alex Jackson comes to the plate.
Well, 4 pitches out of the zone for Jack Riley, and Lang swung at 3 of them.
As Alex Jackson, the guy to end that perfect game bid for Agadal, is coming up in a huge spot here. He put the first chip in the dam. The Zap kind of got to him afterwards, but he got it started, and in a huge spot, by far his biggest at-bat of the year here, with 2 away, bases loaded, down by a pair. The first offering to Jackson. Misses outside. A good take there from Jackson to get things started.
Like to see Alex Jackson be a little bit more patient than we saw in the previous at-bat from Mason Lang. Make this guy throw strikes. He hadn't shown that he can throw one yet.
The 1-0 now to Jackson. Runs in for strike one.
And right on cue, throws a perfect pitch right down the middle.
That was probably one that Jackson would love to have back, but the 1-1 still alive here. 2 away. Alex Jackson in a crucial spot here for the Zap. Runs inside for ball 2. Just about got him on the hands. As a walk would score a run for the Zap, as after seeing that one, they're going to take a timeout.
Well, I think the reason that Owen Mickelson's going out to talk to Jack Riley is there's motions being made, and this is completely legal. This is part of the game of baseball. But Vince Polizzi over on second base, I think, has a beat on what Owen Mickelson is calling. So Mickelson going to go out and change up the pitch call rotation between Riley and himself and try to keep it from being picked up by the runner on second back there. That's just part of this chess match.
It's a veteran move from Polizzi. The 2-1 now. Misses high. Farwell coming in to score. Bounces off the backstop. Everyone advances. Ty Farwell safe at the plate. And the Zapper within 1.
And maybe that had the wrong effect, and Polizzi almost taking home plate there as Owen Mickelson was out almost on the mound with Jack Riley, and nobody had called time. Mickelson seeing it, hustling back. But now Jackson can give the Zap the lead with a base hit here. Everybody going to be moving on contact with 2 outs. Let's see if he can put one in play.
The 3-1 here. Skips in for ball 4. Jackson takes his free pass. It'll bring Caden Bazanski to the plate. Bases loaded with 2 away. Jackson does his job. Watches 4 balls, including 1 in the dirt, that scores Farwell. And the Zap, after being no hit for a large majority of this ball game, are within 1 with the bases loaded.
And Devin Skelton giving some scouting report to Caden Bazanski before he steps in here to face Jack Riley.
The lefty-righty matchup. Caden Bazanski's been starting a lot at second base. He swings on that one and misses for strike 1.
Not a very confident swing there from Bazanski. I think Riley fooled him. He might have been sitting fastball and got the off-speed pitch.
They're heavily shaded towards that right field line as Bazanski swings on and misses that one for strike 2. Nice recovery from Riley to get ahead here. A wild pitch. Polizzi will be ready to run. The 0-2 to Bazanski. Swung on and missed. Riley bounces back, but the Zap get 3 across and are within 1 here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back at the top of the 7th.
Things in life you can't control. Your in-laws just bought a new house right next door. Construction is behind schedule, so you have to detour to work again. That car next to you just lost control and swerved into your lane. Things in life you can control. Wearing your seatbelt. In South Dakota, over 55% of those who die in a car crash aren't buckled up. Control what you can. Always wear your seatbelt.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes. Pay by the round. Save with a punch card or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Get ready, Central South Dakota. Oahe Days in Pierre is back, June 20th and 21st at Steamboat Park.
It's the annual music and arts festival you don't want to miss. Live music, amazing food, local vendors, carnival rides, a beer garden, and so much more.
Friday night, it's 90s party band, the Mallrats.
And Saturday, country fans, Struggle Jennings takes the stage.
The 3 bands each night start at 5 p.m.
Grab the full lineup and details now at oahedays.com.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Zap put a little rally together. When they seemed dead, they came back to life, scored 3 runs there in the bottom of the 6th inning, and have made this a 1-run ball game. New pitcher on the mound for the Zap as expected. It's Braxton Plemons. I'm Justin Coward alongside Dylan Beach and Eli Lewis, our producer-director extraordinaire. Got a great ball game going. The fans are being treated to a fun one here at Hyde Stadium. Top of the 7th inning here. And this first pitch is lined back over the head of Caden Bazanski. And just like that, Ben Foyer has found his way on the base paths. 1 pitch, 1 hit for the Sasquatch. And I guess whatever Jamie Habiger imparted to his team before that last inning, when he got the whole squad together, must have worked. 4 hits, 3 runs, and they're right back in this thing.
Just need another nice pitching performance from Braxton Plemons to keep you in this one.
As Hansen shows bunt, fouls that one off down the 3rd baseline. Squatch trying to play a little small ball here to try to put some insurance runs on the board. The crowd numbers were thinned out yesterday because of the 93-degree weather, but they have filled back in nicely here this afternoon. Couldn't ask for a better day to be at the ballpark. As Plemons delivers, that one just a bit outside for ball 1. Hansen not showing bunt that time around. The Sasquatch scored 3 on Aiden Johnson in the 1st inning. They scored 1 more in the 3rd. Haven't scored since. A pickoff attempt is not in time. Zap getting all of their production in the bottom of the 6th there. And a majority of it coming off of Tristan Agadal, which is maybe the most surprising thing. As this one misses high. Agadal with 12 strikeouts today. And the Sasquatch have somebody up and moving around in their bullpen. So it's probably the end of the line for Jack Riley. As that one is swung on and missed. Good fastball from Plemons. Gets the count to 2-2.
Just what an inning that was. I mean, you're really getting what you paid for in that one.
Zap left runners on base there, but they made this thing more interesting than it was. Here's the 2-2 and an excuse-me swing. Fouls it off right up against the netting of the Sasquatch dugout. And a good job from Karsten Hansen just to stay alive. Hansen with the bat right around that left pec. Check swing in there. Did he go? They're going to say he didn't. Noah Cadena still trying to check with Richard Gilmore. He finally got Gilmore to do something, but Gilmore said no, he didn't swing. Count runs full.
I mean, we've seen how long it's taken him to do some strike calls, but...
And that one swung on and missed by Hansen, but it looks like he fouled it. Must have caught a little piece of bat. Cadena couldn't squeeze it. And that would have been the 3rd strike had Cadena been able to hold on to that baseball, but the count again 3-2, and Plemons does not want to walk the 9-hole hitter here, Karsten Hansen. That one fouled away over the fencing, and it bounces along and into the pond. So I think we'll just see Plemons continue to deliver Karsten Hansen fastballs here. Don't want to try to throw an off-speed pitch and miss the zone and put 2 runners on with nobody out. Plemons comes. That one just driven down the left field line. Chasing is Jackson over to it. 2nd sliding catch of the game for Alex Jackson. Another gorgeous play with the leather. And that'll be the 1st out of the inning. Karsten Hansen tried to fit it in down that left field line, but Alex Jackson showing off some of that speed.
You just know he has to practice that slide a lot. I mean, he has gone to that 3 times. It's the 2nd time we've seen him make the play, and it's an impressive snag from Jackson.
I don't want to say he had to slide there, but it looked a lot better that he did.
Yeah,
that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup. Lucas Torelli takes a strike.
It's like the Dude Perfect video from back in the day, the Mr. Highlight, where you're on the fence and you jump up and catch it. And
can't say I've seen too much Dude Perfect in my lifetime. Throw over to first, nearly in time. As Ben Foyer's backsliding. Looked like Foyer was trying to make his way towards 2nd base when Plemons offered the pickoff attempt. So we'll see if Ben Foyer gets going at any point in this at-bat. Strike 2 is in there for Lucas Torelli. He takes that one looking. After they went out to Augusta National and threw Frisbees at the 12th green, I never could forgive them for what they did.
When I was a child, those baseball and basketball stereotype videos, I mean, they were just incredible.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Torelli. That's in the dirt. Nice stop by Cadena. Keeps Foyer at first base. That shadow has made its way across the mound. It's only sunlight all the way to home plate. The 1-2 fouled back into the netting. Noah Cadena looking for that ball up in the sky as it rolls up right behind him. Speaking of golf, the U.S. Open gets underway in less than 12 hours. First tee time, 5:45 a.m. Runner going, 0-2, 1-2. That looks like it caught the strike zone. Dylan Turner didn't think so. Count runs 2-2, and Foyer's in there stealing. So he takes second base with one out.
Thought Plemons was at least going to get the out there on the steal, but
it was a good-looking pitch, and Cadena did a good job trying to frame it. And Plemons will step off. Maybe they want to go over their signs. Quick meeting just in front of the mound. Plemons back in, working from the stretch. Fast runner on second base. Torelli awaits, takes ball 3 high. Couple wispy clouds hanging over top of Hyde Stadium here this afternoon. No chance of rain, just there for the nice aesthetic look. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That misses high, and he had Torelli 0-2, and he lost him with a walk. But that'll put a force out at every base. Ground ball might end this inning here as Nicholas Work comes up to the plate for the Squatch.
And just getting closer to this heart of this lineup, and got to get this ground ball or get an out to eliminate that sac fly potential.
And we've talked about it. There's really nowhere to go in this lineup where you can get away. That one catches the outside part of the strike zone for strike one to Work. You can't really... There's nowhere to hide in this lineup. Every guy that steps up to the plate for the Squatch is a very talented hitter, can hit almost every pitch. As this one's ripped down the left field line. Look out, bullpen. Nice play by the Squatch bullpen catcher. Keeping his head on a swivel, and luckily so. I don't know how he made that play. He's staring straight back into the sunlight, and he had his back turned to the play when the ball was hit. Count is 0-2, 1 out. That one lifted foul back towards the home crowd fans.
It won't count for anything, but that was a nice play by Giovanni Mastarosa.
Giovanni Mastarosa. He's catching a bullpen session down there, and they've got 2 guys who are supposed to be blocking any foul balls that come that direction, but that one was hit with such pace.
Now Mastarosa hitting some Fortnite dances out there in the bullpen.
Well, he deserves to. He gets to show off a little bit after that play. And when I say he's staring right back into the sunlight, I have to imagine that ball was right in line with it. The 0-2 misses low. Nice block by Cadena to keep everybody put. Late sunsets here this time of year in South Dakota. As we're in the top of the 7th inning. That one just a bit outside. And the count runs 2-2.
Zap dugout really wanted that one.
Yeah, they're letting Dylan Turner hear about it. As are the home crowd fans. Plemons comes set, takes a peek at second, and delivers the 2-2 pitch. That one misses low, and it's back to 3-2 again. So Plemons has had 2 back-to-back hitters at 0-2 counts. He walked the last one, and now he's in danger territory of loading the bases here with only 1 out. Plemons quickly delivers. That one chopped foul, catches a piece of the plate, now makes its way towards the Sasquatch on deck circle. Ethan Mooser with the assist back to Cadena. Clemens toes back the rubber. Holds the ball in his right hand. Glove cocked in his left hand. Now comes set. And that one fouled away. And another good at bat being put together here by the Sasquatch. Staying alive. Just fouling off pitches until they get that right one. So again, the 3-2 payoff pitch. Big lead over on first base for Torelli. That one just a bit inside for ball 4. Plemons wants to know where that one missed. He's asking Turner twice, now looking to his own dugout, wondering if they have any answers for him. But he's loaded the bases, and now Ethan Mooser will come up. And Jamie Habiger wants to go have a talk with Braxton Plemons. He's still trying to figure out where that one missed.
And, I mean, for Plemons, that's back-to-back batters where you were just off by just a hair to get 2 Ks, and you got to be asking the umpire, Turner, where those missed. I mean, for future pitches, where you want to put it at, it looked like he was close on a couple of those and just can't get either runner out.
Well, that's more of a job for Noah Cadena. Cadena's got to have that dialogue with the home plate umpire to get a feel for where the zone is, what those pitches are doing that are not giving them the opportunity to be called strikes, and then you relay that to your pitcher. That's the last thing you want to do as a pitcher is get on an umpire's bad side. And a little interesting note, I think in 2026 the MLB has announced they're probably going to move to that ABS system we've seen in the minor leagues, which I think is the right thing to do.
I mean, we saw it in spring training, too. I mean, I think there was probably a couple of pitches that if you had that system in the ILB, you might have had a K there, but just not how it fell for Plemons, and now he's got his back against the wall with 1 away.
And now we're going to see a pitching change here for the Zap, so that'll be the end of the line for Braxton Plemons. And we'll see who's coming in for the Zap.
Brady Glenn coming in for him.
We've seen Glenn a little bit here in this homestand. Got to go back to when we faced with the Fremont Moo. But Glenn was a part of a good bullpen outing for the Oahe Zap on a Sunday afternoon the last time he saw some playing time here at home.
Just a bit of an unlucky day there for Plemons. Was looking good and just missed a couple of payoff pitches and was close to having a different outing.
You can say that, but there's also something that's got to be said for getting ahead 0-2 to 2 batters, and then, maybe you threw some that were close to the zone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to be firing strikes. You don't want to bring the umpire's discretion into it. Glenn, a stocky left-hander, got a good lively fastball, can throw some off-speed stuff. He's got the stirrups on today, something you don't often see. Donning that red sleeve on the left arm. And while we're in the break, we'll give you a quick update. Still can't get over that 479-foot bomb by Byron Buxton in the Twins game. They still lead 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning. I mean, you really got to put a charge into a baseball or have about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball come across the barrel of your bat to send it 479 feet.
I mean, that is just outrageous.
I mean, that's Ronald Acuna, Aaron Judge territory.
He's had to sneak in Acuna.
Look, there's not been much to celebrate about my Atlanta Braves this season. A lot of blown saves, a lot of blown games. No lead is safe with the Atlanta Braves until that final out is rung up. Brady Glenn's gotten all his warm-up pitches. Ethan Mooser will step in. He and Dylan Turner, our home plate umpire, have had a very fragile relationship today. Ethan Mooser has not got the benefit of some close calls from Dylan Turner, but Turner's been very consistent. Brady Glenn comes set. He inherits 3 runners on base, and he fires a strike in for strike 1 to Ethan Mooser.
Good start there for Glenn.
Glenn with a long look in. Looks around, sees 3 light blue Squatch jerseys. What a stop behind the plate by Noah Cadena. He had to shift off and slide to his left, and all he did was really just kind of throw his glove at it. Didn't really make an attempt to squeeze it. He knew that if it got by him, that runner from third was going to score.
Kind of just flicked it back into play even.
He sure did. So now the count 1-1. Glenn comes set and fires. That one fouled away. Strike 2. Corners of the infield playing in here for the Zap.
Got to be ready for a ground ball if you're this team. If you get something low off speed and he chops it, got to be ready to try to turn 2 to get out of this inning.
Gavin Frazier and Caden Bazanski back in the middle infield for that possible double play. Not going to be a double play here as Alex Jackson rolls to his right, fields the fly ball in left field. Throw coming in, not in time. And the Squatch have scored their 5th run of the ball game. It comes in the form of Ben Foyer, who tags on the sac fly. But all in all, I think a pretty good pitch there from Brady Glenn to get the 2nd out of the inning and keep this in striking distance. 5-3 now, the Squatch lead here in the top of the 7th.
You can certainly live with that if you can get out of this with just giving up the 1. You're still within striking distance, and me and my friends always say when we're playing MLB The Show, you got to score runs to win, so got to go put a few more across.
That'll bring up Aaron Nils, and he swings at an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1. Brady Glenn doing his job. Throwing strikes, getting outs. That one chopped towards second base, and they're going to try to get the out at second, and I'm not sure why they tried to make that play. It was a force play at second. Bazanski had the out at first, and I'm not sure why he decided to try to toss it to Gavin Frazier. I think Gavin Frazier was shocked at the fact that he was tossing it to second. I'm a little perplexed by that decision by Caden Bazanski. He had an easy force out at first, but he opted to try to get the force out at second, and by the time he tossed it over there, the runner was already in there, essentially standing back up from his slides. Now the bases are reloaded. That middle infield making Brady Glenn's job a little bit more difficult here.
Had an easy play at first and just, he was already past you when you made the flip, and maybe he still thought they only had 1 away, but
that's really the only thing I could think of. And now a shot to deep right field by Sam Kwapnoski, his 2nd of the series. It's a grand slam, and Caden Bazanski is distraught at second base, knowing that mental error would have prevented that grand slam. Kwapnoski admiring that one as he should. That one landing about halfway into the parking lot. And you got to feel for Brady Glenn in this scenario. He got the ground ball he needed to get out of the inning. And they're fired up over there in that Squatch dugout. It's now 9-3. And I think the loneliest person in the ballpark right now is Caden Bazanski.
Yeah, you got to feel for him after that.
Absolutely do. So Glenn will get back to work. Owen Mickelson now at the plate.
Likely won't get any of those earned, but, just blowing this ball game up there.
Absolutely. Kwapnoski got all of that pitch. And now Glenn just kind of has to get back to work. He misses that one outside. Count runs 1-1.
About hit our producer's truck out there.
That was launched. That one falls in for strike 2. Kwapnoski likes to watch his home runs fly. And if I could hit a ball that far, I would too.
Yes,
especially when you got ducks on the pond.
Or a grand slam, or a 3-run shot there, just crazy.
This one grounded towards Bazanski, just out of his reach, and that will register for another base hit by Owen Mickelson.
It's just an inning you kind of feel for Bazanski now. That one just a bit away from him, never going to have a chance at that one, and this inning just continues chugging along.
So Kwapnoski adds 4 more with the grand slam. That was the 7th hit for the Squatch here this afternoon, and Mickelson registers the 8th. Sasquatch have scored 9 runs on 8 hits. The Zap have scored 3 runs on 5 hits. And now they got Peyton Fort to deal with. He takes strike 1 on a fastball right down the middle. Fort taking his time, getting his batting gloves adjusted, letting his catcher tie his right shoe over there on first base. That's a good teammate. Now Glenn will nod yes to the Noah Cadena sign. And Fort waits on the off speed and fouls it back the other way. A couple of fans are going to exit the ballpark, go try to get a free slushy with that foul ball.
We need some swimming trunks to get some of these ones tonight.
And Kwapnoski using that wind to his advantage, too, as it continues to blow out to right field. Peyton Fort takes a ball just barely missing outside. The Zap fans that were already none too pleased with that grand slam shot by Sam Kwapnoski now turning their anger towards Dylan Turner. The 1-2 pitch is fouled in on the hands up into the netting.
Just a long, long inning here. I mean, this game was flying by, and I think with just these last 2 frames is just probably just extending this game by just countless minutes.
Absolutely. We were at about an hour and a half of game time when we were through the top of the 6th inning. And then that long rally by the Zap in which they scored 3 runs. And now Fort, who drives one down the left field line. Jackson giving chase. That's going to touch grass in fair territory. Jackson sliding to stop it. Rounding third and heading for home. Here comes the throw. It is not going to be in time. In sliding is Owen Mickelson, and Peyton Fort has an RBI double. And the Squatch extend their lead to 7. It's now 10-3. And Noah Cadena going down to have a chat with Brady Glenn. Here comes Gavin Frazier. Puts his right arm around the backside, a little smile, trying to cheer up Brady Glenn.
You got to try to cheer him up. I mean, last 5 runs probably shouldn't even happen. I mean, he did a good job to get to 2 outs with just giving the one across, and just ball has not fallen his way here on the mound.
No, it hasn't. Here's the 0-0 pitch, now 0-1, as a strike is taken by shortstop Ben Foyer. A really defeating inning here for the Zap. Glenn comes set. That one misses down and in. Sliding for the stop is Noah Cadena.
And I mean, it only happened just the last time the Zap were up, but that rally feels like an eternity ago, and just momentum-wise, minutes-wise, just every sense of the word.
Glenn delivers. That one fouled back our way, up and over the broadcast booth, foul. And we hate to keep pouring it on, but the decision to toss to second for the force out with 2 outs by Caden Bazanski forged the path for the grand slam by Sam Kwapnoski. Here's the 1-2. That one driven the other way, foul.
And everyone else might not forget about it for a bit, but if you're Bazanski, you have got to get that out of your head. The last thing you need is that just nagging in your head for the rest of this season. You have got to just toss that one out and try to move on with the rest of this year.
And that'll take some of his teammates, too. That's going to require some good brotherly love, as this one's driven towards the right center field gap. That's going to get down, and another run is going to score for the Squatch. So Ben Foyer brings home Peyton Fort. It's 11-3 Squatch. As this inning just continuing to drag on, it's just like a stake being driven into the Zap's hearts here. A 7-run inning in the top of the 7th inning for the Sasquatch has blown this thing wide open.
Just a crazy 2-out rally from the Sasquatch, and you give them the chance. This lineup's been so good, and they've taken every opportunity in this inning.
Karsten Hansen wants to get in on the fun. He drives that first pitch into center field, and it's another base hit by the Squatch.
And they're getting closer to run rule territory after this inning, and just the Zap were just so close to getting out of this, was just giving up the one, keeping within striking distance, and it was a completely different ball game, and then just has really started to lose a grip on this game.
That'll bring up the top of the order in Lucas Torelli. Torelli takes ball 1 down and away. It was a 4-3 ball game coming into this inning. Brady Glenn came in with the bases loaded. As that one catches the bottom of the strike zone. Count runs 1-1. Glenn gave up a pop fly into left field. Alex Jackson caught it. The Squatch scored 1 run on that sac fly, but it brought up 2 outs. He got the ground ball, as this one catches the outside corner for strike 2. Sam Kwapnoski hit the grand slam. Peyton Fort with an RBI double. And then Ben Foyer brought in Fort. The 1-2 misses high. 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Glenn just trying to get back to the dugout. He steps off as he's getting pestered back there by Ben Foyer. Foyer leading off as second, Hansen at first. And this one driven into center. Curiel, a couple steps over to his right, and he ends a gut-wrenching inning for the Zap. It was 5-3. It's now 11-3. The Squatch put up a 7th spot here in the top of the 7th. We'll see if the Zap can rally after this short break on River 92.7.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate. All located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, DRGnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us too. By using the Contact Us feature on the DRGnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Welcome back here to Hyde Stadium on a gorgeous summer evening in central South Dakota. We want to thank you for spending some time on this Wednesday night on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com. Listen to some in-state rivalry baseball. And this has been a very exciting game until it really wasn't. Sasquatch go for 7 there in the top of the 7th inning. And it feels like it should have been a lot less than that. Jackson Peters, the new Sasquatch pitcher on the mound. Fired down to second there by Owen Mickelson. And the first batter of this inning will be another catcher, Noah Codina.
I imagine there was probably a couple of fans who maybe took a break, maybe went to the restroom, maybe ate some dinner, and just came back to a completely different ball game than the one they left for.
Yeah, absolutely. They come out, they see that 7-run spot. They went with 2 outs thinking, all right, I want to go to the restroom. I want to go get my beer bucket before we head to the bottom of the 7th. And they came back in a completely different game. Cadena takes strike 1. Jackson Peters out of Plano, Texas, plays his college ball at St. Edwards. Another guy that can really pump a fastball as he fires another one past Codina. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Tops out at about 92. That fastball works more like a sinker, though. There's a good bit of movement on it. And through his throwing motion, it just looks like he throws fast. That one misses low for ball 1. Kind of really convulses that throwing motion. Kicks that left knee out real quickly. Bit of a sidearm delivery from Peters. Peters, a tall kid, standing at 6'5". That one misses outside.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a sidewinder. Definitely a weird angle to try to pick up out of if you're a pitcher, and then with the high velos he's got.
And it's always a tough time here around the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings when that shadow really creeps in on the infield. Peters delivers. Codina fists one the other way, but foul. And you get so many different kind of shadow looks. You get a part of the game where the mound is covered by the shadow and nothing else but sunlight from that front of the mound all the way to the plate. Now you've got that whole distance between the front of the mound and the plate covered in shadow and the mound covered in sunlight. Here comes Peters. That one misses outside. Codina, being patient, works the count full. Codina digs in. Peters comes set. Here comes the payoff pitch. Grounded up the middle. Headed for Ben Foyer. He grounds it on the skirt of the infield and fires to first base for the first out of the inning. Really impressive middle infield here for the Spearfish Sasquatch. You got Ben Foyer, who's a good hitter, good fielder. You got Peyton Ford, who's the hottest hitter in the ILB, a great fielder in his own respect. Doesn't feel like much gets past them, if anything at all. And that'll bring up Emiliano Curiel. First pitch to Curiel finds its way for the first strike of this at-bat on the inside corner. Peters, another guy that works quickly. Curiel swings and misses at that offering. Strike two.
Just a lot of high velos here tonight for the Sasquatch. Just some bringing out all their flamethrowers after the hot day yesterday.
Peters just misses down low. Squatch dugout wanted strike three. Didn't get it. Count runs 1 and 2.
I think Curiel thankful that one wasn't called strike three. It's definitely close.
And the Squatch have mixed it up. After Agadal came out of this game, we saw Jack Riley, who had a lot of off-speed stuff, as Codina fouls that one back to the netting. And then they come back with Peters, a guy who throws 92 miles an hour. He's also got a good slider and a splitter.
Definitely going to be messing with this Zap lineup's timing.
That one, just a stay-alive swing for Emiliano Curiel as he just threw the bat out at that off-speed pitch. Barely made contact with the end of it. Stays alive. Count still 1 and 2. Here's the offering from Peters. Swing and a miss, strike three. Curiel goes down swinging. That's the second out of the inning. And Jackson Peters making quick work of this Zap lineup. That'll bring up the top of the lineup here for the Zap and Gavin Frazier. See if the Zap can get a little two-out rally started of their own. Frazier with a stance in the right-hand batter's box as he takes ball one. That really reminds me of Ichiro Suzuki. Keeps that bat kind of right over the right shoulder. It's still in your eyesight of the right and just kind of twirls it in little circles. I know that Ichiro batted from the left side as that one runs way inside. Two and 0 count, 2 outs. The 6'5" right-hander comes set and delivers. That one softly bunted towards the first base side. Got it and tossing is Kwapnoski. And a covering Peters gets the third out of the bottom of the 7th. So we head to the top of the 8th. It's 11-3 Sasquatch. Zap just trying to find a way back in. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is first baseman Quinn Ludvigsen on the mound. Might get a chance to do a bit of research on to if Quinn has pitched ever in his life. I'm sure he probably did a little bit in high school, as the best players often do, but it certainly has been a while. This is his first outing for the Zap. We saw Ottersburg on the mound the other night. This might be the let's get home early here and save an arm, but we'll see how Ludvigsen looks out on the mound.
I don't blame them either. 11-3 ball game. You felt like it was a game that you could win. Momentum was all on your side, and then that 7th inning came along. And a big game tomorrow.
Got to try to get back and split it, as Ludvigsen looked or missed for ball one. He looked the part on the windup, as that one misses high and outside for ball two. Ludvigsen out of Menasha, Wisconsin, goes to Minnesota State Mankato as the 2-0 misses for ball three.
You know, you said the get home early type of thing. This could actually work against that. You put a guy out there that doesn't have much experience on the bump, might be hard for him to find the strike zone.
As he does just that for strike one. He has a prep baseball page from high school that has some pitching numbers on it, an 81-mile-an-hour fastball, as he's in there for strike two, a 70-mile-an-hour curveball. So any guy with just a two-pitch mix, I don't expect pitched much, but maybe that's all he needed in high school, as the payoff misses high.
He just shook off Noah Codina, too. He's getting into his bag a little bit.
He was going fastball all the way,
yeah,
and he did not want to see that probably curveball sign. I mean, there might only be two signs. It's probably not a sign, someone that you really practice those with, their first baseman. He's probably not pitching to you often. This will probably be the only time we see this battery all season, as he misses high there. Ludvigsen, we will say, he did help lead his high school to the state tournament for the first time in 30 years. I don't know how much he might have pitched in that, but, I mean, he is a big, tall bat. I'm sure his bat was helping them more, as that one swung on for foul for strike one.
And normally in those instances, in his pitching experience with a team that can go to a state title, you're usually pitching when you're in front 11-3, not usually when you're behind 11-3. So a very unfamiliar territory for Ludvigsen. There's that curveball.
He's got it in there.
Yeah.
He's probably going to throw a lot of the fastball, but he's got that curve. I might try to talk to him a bit tomorrow, find out when was the last time he has pitched. I'd have to imagine it was high school, as that one runs inside and catches the batter on the hand. Mooser, where's that one?
Yeah, and Ludvigsen trying to apologize to Mooser as he made his way down to first. You could see him mentioning something to Ethan Mooser as he made his way down the base path.
Probably was an apology. Ludvigsen, a very nice guy. Mooser, a Canadian, might forgive him pretty quickly. As some more pitching stats for Ludvigsen, the 2022-23 season, he did pitch 28 innings with a 2.7 ERA, so he's been there before.
Not bad.
But if that was kind of the last time he was pitching, it's been a while now in the year 2025, as that one misses high. He didn't pitch any this last season for Minnesota State Mankato, but kind of like Ottersburg on the bump the other day. It's maybe a question of if he can get the outs to get out of the inning if they get to the run rule. Is that one in there for strike one? He had 25 Ks that year for Menasha High School. As he sets and delivers in there, skips in for ball two, I should say.
He sure looks the part out there on the mound.
He's got a nice windup for a guy who plays first base primarily. He has to have spent some time working on that in the past, as that one belted back the other way. They're sending the runner, but ultimately puts the stop sign on. We had talked about the third base coach. I didn't know how old he was, but showing some wisdom there, not trying to get an out, running, and puts the late stop sign on. They go station to station, bases loaded here for Ludvigsen.
And we're going to test Quinn Ludvigsen's mental mettle a little bit here. You've loaded the bases, you got nobody out, and you're about to go through a very dangerous part of this lineup with Sam Kwapnoski stepping up to the plate.
See this battle here. That one misses outside. I'm sure Kwapnoski is thinking another grand slam here.
I was about to say he's got one thing and one thing only on his mind. A guy who doesn't pitch a lot on the mound. He's got a grand slam in the frame previous.
As he swings and fouls that one back off the other way for strike one. Ludvigsen, I mean, of all the batters to retire, if you could get the guy down who's hit the grand slam in this one, might be a bit of a confidence boost if he steps back on the mound this year as he shakes off a couple there. So maybe there is more than two pitches in this mix as the 1-1 skips in for ball two.
That was the curve there. So maybe Codina tried to flash him fastball first, and then Codina trying to say, no, I really want you to throw the fastball, and Ludvigsen saying, no, I want to throw the curveball.
And I'm sure Kwapnoski wants him to throw the curve just right over the center of the plate as the wind's still going in right field. The 2-1 now. He goes fastball and sneaks it by him.
And that was a grand slam type of swing right there from Kwapnoski.
He was. His eyes were probably wide there. It's probably the pitch he wanted. And he wouldn't have had to do much. Ludvigsen, certainly a lot more speed on that fastball than the 70-mile-an-hour curve from high school was. He goes off speed, grounded to Polizzi, goes to home. Can't get the double play back in time to first, but you get one away, you get the lead runner down.
Good play there by Vince Polizzi. Heads up. Cadena saying nice job to Vince over there at first base. Save the run. Big out right there for Quinn Ludvigsen. Let's see if he can get a ground ball, get himself out of this bases loaded jam with a double play.
As the lead stays at 8. As Zap trail 11-3 in this ball game. Ludvigsen sets and fires, misses for ball one.
He's going to that curveball quite a bit.
I mean, when we've only discovered that he has two pitches, I mean, you're going to have to toss up on both of them.
Well, I'm seeing it more than I think I expected to.
As that one misses high and inside for ball two.
I remember stepping into a JV game to pitch one time, and I didn't have any pitching experience, but I really wanted to throw my curveball. Wasn't a great curveball.
The 2-0 from Ludvigsen, slashed the other way. Not going to get down in front of Goldberg. They sent all the runners, and I don't think they realized it. Polizzi foot race back to the bag in time to record the double play. Not one you see often, the right fielder into the first baseman, but we'll be right back here at the bottom of the 8th.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate, all located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, DRGnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us, too. By using the Contact Us feature on the DRGnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Back here in the bottom of the 8th, Quinn Ludvigsen keeps his ERA perfect, as I'm not sure when we'll see him again on the mound. Might be for the 9th, but might give another position guy a chance to pitch in this ball game.
He's not coming back out in the 9th because the 8th run inning is coming up right here. The Zap are going to tie this thing up at 11. I'm sorry to say you won't be able to catch the end of your NBA Finals game, but I feel a rally coming right here, boys.
Hey, only a minute left in the first half. I would take the rally. As Ty Farwell tries to get that going. That one in there for strike one. As anyone at home without access to the NBA Finals, the Pacers lead the Thunder 60-57 right now. Jalen Williams in the middle of a pair of free throws. As the 0-1 in there to Farwell, swung on and missed for strike two.
Twins have also extended their lead over the Rangers. 6-2 ball game there. Good to see the Twins, at least for the moment, shaking off the demons of giving up 16 last night.
Woof. As the 0-2 into Farwell misses way outside.
And you know, it just seems to fit perfectly with Minnesota's sports luck. They've got one of their better teams that they've had in years past, but they're in the division with the Detroit Tigers, who just happen to be the best and hottest team in baseball right now.
And Farwell fouls that one off. And I think if you would have told me that a few years ago, I would have laughed in your face.
It's been a tough going for the Detroit Tigers. I had to write a piece about the MLB instituting the ABS system in 2026, and I had to go back and relive that Armando Galarraga perfect game that was not because of Jim Joyce.
One of the biggest robberies, I think, just ever, not even just in baseball. That might have been like a bank heist level robbery. As that one in for 2-2.
Sure was, and one of the big reasons why the MLB instituted replay.
2-2 now to Farwell. Chop to the second baseman over in time. Farwell out number one of this inning, as it'll bring Palizzi to the plate. It is like the perfect part of the lineup to maybe get some sort of a rally going if you're the Zap, but one away, just 5 outs to work with for the Zap in this ball game.
And that's always tough. Baseball's such an emotional game. You get 3 runs, you really climb yourself back, as this one's chopped towards the shortstop, and a nice play by Foyer to get the second out of the inning. But you get yourself in a position where you can't get to Tristan Agadal through the first 4 innings of the ball game. He was absolutely lights out. Really, the first 5 innings of the ball game. You didn't even get your first base runner or first hit until the bottom of the 5th. And then you tag the Squatch for 3, you make it a 1-run game. And then everything just unfolds with the mental error in the middle of the infield for the Zap.
As 2 away, Goldberg to the plate, and just one that rips the heart out of your chest. I mean, you had the momentum coming back into it. You were down just a run. You left the bases stranded, and then a 7-run frame for the Sasquatch to put this one away as Goldberg quickly behind in the count 0-2. Goldberg awaiting the delivery. Swung on and missed. Zap can't get anything. Just 3 outs to work with. We'll head to the 9th. Right here at Hyde Stadium.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at United.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive. Not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Hey Zap baseball fans, it's Justin Cowart. If you're interested in a podcast that's sports and only sports, you need to check out Players Perspective. I have athletes and coaches from the South Dakota area and across the country, from the high school all the way up to the professional level. Come on and tell stories of their biggest and best moments of their athletic careers. If it's sports, you bet we cover it on Players Perspective Podcast, sponsored by Avera. You can find it wherever you find podcasts by searching DRG Media Group or on drgnews.com. Now, back to myself and Dylan Beach in the broadcast booth for some more Zap Baseball. That's right. You can check out Players Perspective. Next episode is going to be coming out Friday, as this one's chopped foul by Peyton Fort. Quinn Ludvigsen back on the mound for the Zap. We've got the quad team from the four runners from Pierre. I imagine we're only going to get three of them, but Callie Ringstmeyer, Emlyn Swanson, Lennox Dupree, and Charlie Williams-Smith. They were the 4x400 relay squad. The 4x200 relay squad that actually set an all-time South Dakota record as Ludvigsen fires in strike one. And they went for the first sub-140 time in South Dakota history. So it'll be fun to talk to them. We'll have that episode out for you on Friday. 11-3 ball game. Ludvigsen back on the mound. An 0-2 pitch is fouled away by Peyton Fort. Bounces off the top awning. Bounces off the top of a Subaru Forester out there and rolls across the street. I'm sure that Subaru is
those things
faced
can
a
take
lot
a
worse.
beating. I was about to say.
People that drive Subarus put those things through anything and everything. That one bounced up there for ball one.
I have a friend whose mom drives a blue one of those, and it has got some dents. I mean, one of the driver's side doors is just about beaten halfway through, but that thing is a loyal car.
1-2 count here from Ludvigsen to Peyton Fort. Not exactly the matchup we were expecting tonight, but we got it, and Fort chops one softly to Vince Polizzi at first. He's going to take it. He thought about tossing it. Ludvigsen wasn't covering in time. You thought he would be right on top of that as a first baseman, but the quick wheels by Vince Polizzi gets the speedy Peyton Fort out for the first out of the top of the ninth.
Good start to keep Ludvigsen's ERA perfect. I want to see that happen here.
I think that's now the developing story here in this 11-3 ball game. Is Quinn Ludvigsen trying to keep his ERA below? Not trying to let it balloon up too much. That one misses outside, ball one. Ben Foyer at the plate here for the Squatch. That one misses high and away. Top of the ninth inning here at Hyde Stadium. Game number 4 of this series coming tomorrow night. That one in there for strike one. Good fastball. We see Bryce Van de Wastein hustling up the stairs. That kid hustles everywhere he goes. Good swing and a miss on a good pitch there from Quinn Ludvigsen. Foyer couldn't slow his bat down enough to catch up to that curveball. Here's the 2-2. Ludvigsen working quickly. Gets the fastball on the outside corner, and it's strike 3 looking for Ben Foyer. And Quinn Ludvigsen putting himself in the Cy Young candidacy here for this outing.
That was filthy. He's going to mess around and end up in this bullpen this year. I mean, oh my. That was a perfect pitch.
I think Jamie Habiger has got some confidence built. And Quinn Ludvigsen. So now face Karsten Hansen, and that one's in there for strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. And Ludvigsen not missing a beat. Working like Tristan Agadal. Gets the ball back, and he's ready to pitch before the batter's even in the box. Let's see if he can go 1-2-3 right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Hansen. In there, and it's taken for ball one. My goodness. That looked very good from up here. Usually in an 11-3 ball game, you might get some of those calls. But Dylan Turner staying true to his consistent zone all night. That one missing down and away for ball two.
Hansen does not want to go down here to the first baseman. He is just trying to stay alive now.
Here comes the 2-2. That one chopped back behind Hansen. That took a very interesting angle. Hansen, a left-handed hitter, he found that one off. It bounced by his left hip. Ludvigsen again with the 2-2. Drops the curveball in there perfectly. Hansen stuck looking up at the sky, wondering how Ludvigsen pulled the string on that one. A 1-2-3 inning for Quinn Ludvigsen. We head to the bottom of the ninth inning, hoping for a Zap rally. We'll be back right after this on River 92.7.
Things in life you can't control. Your in-laws just bought a new house right next door. Construction is behind schedule, so you have to detour to work again. That car next to you just lost control and swerved into your lane. Things in life you can control. Wearing your seatbelt. In South Dakota, over 55% of those who die in a car crash aren't buckled up. Control what you can. Always wear your seatbelt.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Get ready, Central South Dakota. Oahe Days in Pierre is back, June 20th and 21st at Steamboat Park.
It's the annual music and arts festival you don't want to miss. Live music, amazing food, local vendors, carnival rides, a beer garden, and so much more.
Friday night, it's 90s party band, the Mallrats.
And Saturday, country fans, Struggle Jennings takes the stage.
The 3 bands each night start at 5 p.m.
Grab the full lineup and details now at oahedays.com.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Bottom of the ninth inning, rally time here for the Zap. And a couple new faces. Got Brian Young out on the mound for the Sasquatch and Nick Golden in the left-handed batter's box for the Zap. As the sun has set on this South Dakota Wednesday, first pitch from Brian Young is in there for strike one. Tell you what, this game was just flying along through the first 6 innings. That was hugely in part, as Young misses outside, hugely in part to the great start from Tristan Agadal, who went 5 1/3 innings, I believe. That one's fouled. He had 12 Ks and was perfect all the way in to the bottom of the 5th inning before Alex Jackson registered the first hit, became the first Zap base runner. Zap went ahead and scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th, many of those coming off of Agadal, believe it or not. But a Sam Kwapnoski grand slam busted this game wide open for the Squatch. We appreciate you joining us on River 92.7 tonight. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, up and away, ball 3. And also, we appreciate you watching live on drgnews.com. Here's the payoff pitch. That one driven the other way and right into the waiting glove of Ben Foyer for the first out of the bottom of the ninth.
I think Nick Gold maybe just thankfully didn't get hit in this 8-run ball game.
I would say that's probably the good sentiment there for any Zap hitter who doesn't get hit. Consider that a win. As Andrew Phillips, another new face into this ball game for the Zap. That one in there for strike one. Good fastball from Brian Young. Brian Young, pitching in the state capitol, plays his ball at Capital University. And he fires a fastball in for strike two. Got him swinging, and it's quickly 0-2. That one misses outside for ball one. Andrew Phillips sporting a bat that really matches the Sasquatch uniforms as he drives one a mile high up the elevator shaft on the infield. Ben Foyer's been busy as he camps underneath that one, and now the Zap are down to their third and final out.
Yeah, just running out of outs here. Trey Runge now to the plate with just one left.
Trey Runge came in for Caden Bazanski after that blunder in the 7th inning. Runge has played a fair amount of second base. See if he can keep this game alive for the Zap. He takes ball one inside. That one just a bit outside for ball two. Runge trying to give way to Jake Daly. So Jamie Habiger really emptying the magazine here in the bottom of the 9th inning as this one's driven into left field. On the run is Aaron Nels. He's under it, and that's the ball game. Well, it was exciting there for a little while, and then the 7th inning happened. The Sasquatch stepped on the Zap's throats and ripped their heart out. But they'll be back tomorrow for Game 4. We're going to step away. When we come back, we'll recap this one for you. We'll look ahead to the final of this 4-game series coming up tomorrow afternoon. Final here from Hyde Stadium, 11-3, Sasquatch win.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30. Just $15 a plate. All located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, DRGnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us too. By using the Contact Us feature on the DRGnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Welcome into the post-game show. Big thanks to all of our sponsors for helping us broadcast Zap Baseball tonight. From Pierre Chamber of Commerce, from Pierre Regional Airport, from Dunes Golf, and of course Venture Communications for providing us our first inning fiber fact. Hello everybody, Justin Cowart, Dylan Beach, as we're going to wrap this one up for you. Sasquatch win it 11-3. This game was a lot closer than that final score will have you believe. The Spearfish Sasquatch got out in front early, scoring 3 runs on Aiden Johnson in the first inning. Aiden locked in, and then we saw Gladue come in and pitch some very nice innings of work. They only scored 1 on Gladue, but it was Tristan Augadal tonight who had a perfect game bid going in to the 5th inning. Alex Jackson delivered the first Zap hit in the bottom of the 5th, And then in the bottom of the 6th, the Zap really got to go in a 3-run rally. They left the bases loaded, but they brought it within 1 run. Then we headed to the top of the 7th inning, and that's when things really unraveled for the Zap. Saw a possibility of getting out of a jam for the Zap. They gave up 1 run, and then with 2 outs, Caden Bazanski, what we believe maybe thought there was only 1 out in the inning, tried to toss a ground ball to second base to get a force out when he could have gone to first and really ended the inning there. Instead, that runner was safe at second. The inning continued, and Sam Kwapnoski, right on cue, hit a grand slam for the Sasquatch. Peyton Fort would pile on with an RBI double, and then Ben Ford would bring him home, making it a 7-run frame in the top of the 7th. No more scoring after that. Sasquatch win this one 11-3, but this is going to be a tough one to swallow for the Oahe Zap, and I really hope Caden Bazanski doesn't hang his head too much. Stuff like that happens on the ball field. You got to forget about it, come back tomorrow, and try to bring your A game and split this series with the Sasquatch.
Yeah, it's like how Ted Lasso said, you got to have the memory of a goldfish, forget about it, move on, got to get back to tomorrow, split this series, because that's a heartbreaker. That's one that's going to stick with you for a while, but you've got to do your best to put it past you and not let it affect the rest of these games, because you got a lot of baseball left to play this week.
And I think Jamie Habiger will do a great job of getting his team ready to play tomorrow. This will be a huge split of the series. This is a very good Spearfish Sasquatch team, a team that you'll be competing with to try to make it into that 2-team playoff at the end of the season. And, we did get to see Quinn Ludvigsen come in and clean up work, and he did pretty well.
Shut down, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Through 2 innings of scoreless ball, kept that ERA right where it was when he kept in, and actually made it a little bit lower after putting himself in a tough position, loading the bases with nobody out, but he got out of the jam. And again, the Zap couldn't get it done tonight, but it was a really exciting game, and the Zap showed a lot of fight. And you take that 7th inning out of it, this is a very close game, 2 very competitive teams, and I think that we'll see a very competitive game tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, likely going to be Porter on the bump, and he's had some good outings, and you can get him the run support that he's been needing and some defensive support as well. He can go deep into one of these ball games.
Absolutely. First pitch tomorrow set for 6:05 as we close up this home series before the Zap go on the road for 3 against the Sasquatch. But make your way over to Hyde Stadium tomorrow afternoon. It's supposed to be beautiful weather again. And again, we'll be on the air tomorrow at 5:55 on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com. One final time from Hyde Stadium. Sasquatch get this one 11-3 for Eli Lewis. For Dylan Beach, I'm Justin Cowart. Thanking you, thanking our great sponsors for tuning in tonight. Our great sponsors at Pier Chamber of Commerce, for Pier Regional Airport at Dunes Golf, and Venture Communications. I'm Justin Cowart signing off. We'll see you right here tomorrow at 5:55 on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com for the 4th and final game of this series between the Oahe Zap and the Spearfish Sasquatch.
This broadcast of Oahe Zap Baseball was brought to you by DRG Media Group and its sponsors. The next home Zap game will be broadcast right here on River 92.7 and drgnews.com. Thanks for tuning in.